What do you think? It appears as if someone has taken the liberty of updating your home entertainment system. I got you the big screen TV, deluxe Pioneer karaoke machine, and THX quality sound that would make George Lucas cream in his pants. Get ready for the LaserDisc Wolfpack THX Special Limited Edition podcast. Everybody, what's going on? I am Sam Culturedog Hatch, and we are back here with more LaserDiscs to talk about, and we're going to get things rumbling with some sonics this time. I'm going to pass it on quickly to the man with the golden ears and the sound so brown, writer and performer of the hit single 5.1 Ways to Leave Your Lover, and whose brainwaves can be audibly measured at a constant reference level of 85 decibels. Ryan Cushing.
Thanks, Sam. This podcast is powered by Thurst. Because if you can't feel it, you're not watching it right.
Good
now
point.
I'm going to pass it off to Spencer.
I wish I had prepared stuff. I should have prepared an intro or something. Man, after that, wow. Of course, we LD are doing 85 dB because we're not like, DVD when they went to 75 dB calibration. We get those extra 10 dBs of theatrical dynamic range, man.
Blow your pant legs off.
Yeah, so I'm powered by sound and ginger ale as always. So over to Max.
Maxeene, the LaserDisc Queen, sponsored by Pioneer and Dolby Digital.
Jealous of that shirt.
I would wear that shirt every day.
Sonic-centric podcast here.
And theoretically, we'd have a fifth Packer, but hopefully he or she, whoever they are, will be able to join us randomly during the episode. So don't be shocked if somebody just pops in and starts talking sound with us. But we've done music before, but I mean, this is the time to really kind of kick it up a notch and talk about the best sounding discs in our collection.
And we've done soundtracks, but this is not soundtracks either.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did music discs. We did soundtracks paired with the movies. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, we haven't really kind of given love to the mixes, the DTSs, the Dolby Surrounds, the Dolby Digitals, all that sort of fun stuff. No SDDS, sorry. But yeah, let's see what we got here. Maybe some ultra stereo releases. I'm going to go in with my top 5, which I figured everyone was just going to go all DTS across the board. So I tried to mix it up a little bit. So the best I could come up with is to put on like my old man pants and do the get off my lawn thing and try and like think about the most exciting sound experiences on LaserDisc I had back in the day. So I figured that would help and make me pull some Dolby Surround discs and stuff. So number 5, I'm going with Strange Days.
Yes.
Nice.
Of course, there's a DTS one right there too.
Don't rub it in.
Don't
I was
pay any
like,
attention
yeah,
to
I've
that.
got the AC3. Yeah, I'd love to get the DTS. Oh,
But yeah, fantastic mix. I mean, and it's very, very aggressive mix in terms of just sound design and how it's implemented with the concepts of the film itself, which are, very brainstorm-esque, in which this character, Lenny Nero, played by the delightful Ray Fiennes, is hustling this brain recording device called the Squid that can play back other people's experiences. And the way they implement sound into that is pretty fascinating. And, dialogue from characters behind you, like aggressively, like stuff that would normally be in a center channel. And then even just in the ordinary world, it's, set in Los Angeles and this kind of like dystopian, turn of the century, turn of the millennium. And, he's always driving around, and there's helicopters and cool things going on, and just all sorts of like strange fights and stuff in the streets. So the streets are alive in this thing, and so is the sound. So yeah, really fantastic stuff. And number 4, we're going with the one that I used to love cranking up back in the day.
Yeah,
The Crow. Not only does it have a cool, sonic soundtrack in terms of the tunes in it and the great Graham Revell score, it does have just a lot of nice sonic pieces. And this is one of the first times I really remembered being kind of wowed by my home theater at the time, which kind of sucked. But I mean, I just had my old Advent Prodigy towers in this living room that I was renting with some friends. And I think even one of them was like buried behind the sofa arm of a couch. But I just remember that the fight where Brandon Lee's, Eric Draper and the Crow is fighting with Tintin in an alleyway. And he knocks a knife that's thrown at him like off, and it actually lands in the right speaker. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, that sounds like it just landed in my living room. And then of course the big top dollar shootout scene is, spectacular, as it says right there, spectacular. Sorry, there's a DTS
I was
one
going to
behind.
ask, which mix do you like? Do you like the Surround, the 5.1, or the DTS best?
I mean, it's hard to say because, like I said, this is the one I bought. Like when it came out, day of, I pre-ordered it at Suncoast and went and bought it. So it's like I've listened to this one so many more times than I've listened to the TTS one. So
yeah,
so I think I'll always probably just still love the Dolby Surround version best.
That's my experience. I don't have the DTS, but I threw it on. I rediscovered the movie on just the standard LD, and I cranked it up, and I was like, "Whoa, this is impressive!" Like tons of low end, and it just, like you said, it will sound great even on a low end setup or even on TV speakers. Then I finally found the AC3 one, and I tried that out, and I'm like, it's discreet, but it's the same mix. But man, that surround track is so impressive already that it's like, it's hard to improve on.
And those are cheap. I mean, you can get the
not the
old
DTS
surround
one.
Yeah, the original, the original Dolby Surround one.
Everybody should have it.
Yeah,
It's
it doesn't
that
have the
good.
making of that the DTS and the Dolby Digital reissue has, but it's worth grabbing. And then the next one up, of course, I had to throw some Michael Mann in here. We're going Heat.
Yes.
Saw this in the theaters and was amazed by the sound mix then too. And not even in terms of just the over the top bombastic, gunfight, which is what everybody comes at this thing for. But it's all the other bits where, he knows how to kind of turn down ambient noises and kind of accentuate certain ones and to kind of heighten the tension, especially there's one scene outside of an airport where Vincent Hanna, played by Al Pacino, is chasing down Neil McCauley, played by Robert De Niro, and just how he accentuates certain elements of the sound field is amazing, and just really kind of gets your heart pumping. But that killer shootout is great too. But I mean, I almost was tempted to go with all Elliot Goldsmith, or not Goldsmith, Goldenthal.
Yeah, that would make sense. All Goldenthal scores.
Yeah, because I love the sound on pretty much every single one of like Demolition Man, Interview with the Vampire,
You're reminding
Alien
me how
3.
I almost included Batman Forever.
There you go.
I had to get it to 5. Yeah, but yeah, you're exactly right. He scored a lot of titles like that.
So I love it. And of course, he was working with Kronos Quartet and Paige Hamilton from Helmet on this too. Some really cool guitar stuff. But I mean, just the mix is fantastic, and I love it. And there's so much great moments for your subwoofer, like when they go into the club to meet, Tone Loc and stuff like that. There's some thumping going on there. And again, the gunfight is impressive as all get out. And the only weird oddity is, of course, the scene with Waingro and the prostitute, which is, I believe, at the end of one of the sides or the beginning of one of the sides. There's just a strange hiss, which I think is in the actual master. It must be.
I think it is, because there's one similar in Mission Impossible in one spot, and I've noticed that on LD, and it usually gets mixed out later. You do know the debate on the Heat on LD, right? About how it's supposedly the theatrical track that's been remixed several times.
I've heard just
Yeah,
basics.
it's a lot more aggressive. So
Yeah.
like the LD, you put that on and most people go like, I think my thing's broken.
Yeah.
It's so loud. I'm like, no, this is how it's supposed
Yeah.
to be. Like I think the first DVD ports the LD master, the old snapper case.
The snapper,
but then
yeah.
after that,
The
they
2-disc.
remixed it.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of Michael Mann fans are like, man, I need to get this LaserDisc thing. And I'm like, yes.
It is great.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that is a really aggressive track.
And it has the image shifted up just to drive you crazy when you're trying to zoom it too. But
Yes.
but yeah, it does have Dolby Digital. But when I got this, I didn't have an RF out on my player, so I think it was probably a couple of years before I even was able to play this properly on my my setup. But all right, number 2, one that I spent countless hours messing around with in my basement with my cheap Chase Surround fake ProLogic decoder.
Yes.
Apocalypse Now. And again, of course, I got the Dolby Digital one hiding back there, but yeah, this was it, man. I got this from Columbia House back in the day. I sold it unfortunately, but I rebought it because I just had to have it again. Of course, the aspect ratio isn't 2:3:5, but
golden ratio.
Yeah, it's the golden ratio, man. But sonically, I mean, I just remember being blown away about the opening. You got the doors, you've got the helicopter flybys, and with good speaker positioning, you still hear the effect of the helicopter circling around you, and that's just the first couple minutes of the film, and it just keeps going on. The dialogue, I just love the sound of Martin Sheen's voice in this thing. It's just so gritty and just kick ass. And yeah, so many moments throughout the film with amazing bursts of of course the Ride of the Valkyries, the big whole Vol segment, and
I still think it's the best sounding version of the movie, period, whether you've got the standard or the AC3.
Yeah, this is
when they did it for Redux over again, it's not the same.
Yeah,
and Walter Birch did that for disc, and that's actually the first time since the 70 mil version where it's like actually discrete, because you get better sound on disc than you did in the 35 mil standard release.
Hell yeah.
So it's amazing. Yeah, that was going to be my honorable mention, because
Nice.
I was like, man, it should be everywhere. Yeah.
And number 1 shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, but I'm going to mix it up and go Dolby Surround CAV Jurassic Park box set. This is the one I had when it came out. When I got this, DTS didn't exist on LaserDisc yet. So, and nor did the AC3 version. So this is what I was stuck with. And yeah, I hadn't built my man cave in the basement yet. So I was still in that same living room that I was playing The Crow in. And I cracked this thing open from Columbia House, slapped it in the player. And my roommate came home and was like, what the hell is going on in here? And we're like, what are you talking about? She's like, I heard that driving down the street. What the hell? Jurassic Park. Raptors in the house. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the subharmonics. I mean, the bass frequencies are going down to, I don't know, like 14 hertz or something. It's ridiculous. So
those
shaking
moments
the
are
place.
classic.
Yeah. So everybody knows about it. Of course, there's that back there too, but don't pay no attention to that. CAV.
But it's
Dolby
got the
Surround.
hot surrounds, man.
Yeah, man. Club mix.
Yes. Super club.
So that's number 1. What do you got, Ryan?
Well, thank you, Sam, for selecting a couple that I would have. Crow and Jurassic Park were 2 that I'm just like, man, I know these are great. I'm hoping somebody else gets them so that I don't have to do them because I wasn't planning on it. And
Fair
so
enough.
it worked out really well. So I tried to pick something I hadn't talked about on the show before. So that cut out all of the crazy late releases that I showed off. Some of those are really good. And I just looked at my list of movies that I hadn't watched in a long time or at all and picked some DTS tracks and just went for it.
All right. What do you got?
Starting at number 5.
Ooh.
Nice.
This is a great sounding disc. And the one of the highlights is the soundtrack that comes through the movie. Like when that comes in, it just sounds so smooth. Like just really, really well done, well mastered, great picture. Just a really, really enjoyable experience. And somebody asked me if the AC3 was the same. I don't know. Like when I started getting into LaserDisc, I landed DTS discs right off the bat. I got lucky. And so I don't know what the AC3 ones of those sound like, but man, that DTS is just crisp. Moving on. This is just really enjoyable. When you get
Yes.
the trucks moving and rumbling, and explosions. I mean, this is a great sounding disc. And I know everybody always watches the first Die Hard at Christmas, but man, this one's really, really good too. Like Jeremy Irons is a great bad guy too. So like this is enjoyable. Plus, you know, you have a exploding helicopter at the end. So what more could you ask for from Bruce Willis? Podcast favorite?
Oh.
Deep Rising is fun on BTS. It's just a trip of a movie. Is it a great film? No.
Is it a treat?
It is a treat. It's an absolute treat. And it just kicks ass because there's guns and explosions and some crazy sea monster. I mean, what more could you want for in a soundtrack?
I almost forget about the sea monster. Like he's not really that well advertised, is he?
Depends on which country you bought your disc in.
Aha.
Number 2,
Ooh.
Time Cop. This is a really punchy soundtrack. Just good. You've got fighting sequences that really just pop. Like when you're cranking it up, you enjoy this, and it's a fun watch now. Like seeing the 2004 car that he's driving at the end, you're like, that's about right. They got that right.
Yeah, self-driving cars.
And number 1, this one was a surprise.
Rubbing
So-
it in.
Yes. Yes.
I'm watching this one, and my wife and son were not home at the time, so I had this running hot. And if you've listened to this master, it's hot already. And the sequence where like the RPG comes through and explodes by the car, that like I thought my house was gonna rip apart. Like it just shredded. Like
Yes.
I'm like, thank God I'm in a house and there's not people right on top of me, because they would be calling the police for noise, because it in the car sequences. And then it's mastered so well. So you go way high on the dynamics and all of the car sequences and everything. And then it comes right back down in the dialogue. You know, it's just really, really well done. The only gripe I have about that disc is the damn subtitles. If you zoom in, are below partially on the screen, and you're like, come on. So I just had to adjust that. But
It seemed like a clever idea at the time, but
yeah, so like what I did was I didn't fully zoom, so I didn't have to like fight it, and it was fine. But like I was like, really, they didn't know at all? Like who thought of that? But other than that, like if you find that disc, or probably even the AC3, just get it. It's spectacular, and the sound is it complements the movie so well. All right,
it's a bit of a raspberry jam back there. A bit of a raspberry jam.
I should have Ronin in my selection, seeing as it's probably the track I've run the most. If I make a change in my home theater, I watch Ronin pretty soon thereafter, because that track is so beautifully designed.
Yeah.
Like I've shown people not just the car chases, but the shootout in the tunnel when they're doing the gun exchange.
Yeah.
The way the dialogue and the natural echoes and the gunshots are broken up. There's a little bit of submachine gun fire, but it's mostly small handguns. And then as soon as that's over, they get back in the car, smash cut to the car roaring off.
Yep.
With the first shot of the car, front of car mounted camera, and the engine's roaring up, and
Sean
then you
Bean
have the
vomiting.
dialogue. Yes.
Yeah, it's just top to bottom. Like the sound is like an accomplishment. Like
Yes.
I don't think they won anything for it, but they should have.
They should have. Yes.
So, all right, Spencer, what do you got?
All right. So this is the hardest category I've ever done, because LD. For me, I got interested by the format. I started for Bond and Star Wars, but what hooked me was the unaltered, unremixed soundtracks. So, I buy a disc and I'm looking to see, okay, does it have PCM? That's what I'm like, where's the digital soundtrack? What sound does it have? And then when you start comparing to later releases and find that even mono titles sound better on LD most of the time, it's like, oh God, I have a new obsession. So this was really hard. So I basically had to limit it to my top 5 discs where if I run this, it's loud, it's gonna be loud, and my neighbors run for the hills. So that being said, Ronin should be on here, but I didn't have it on LD until literally, the past week. So courtesy of Mr. Headbro himself. Thank you very much. So this one, I'm surprised nobody had this one yet, because this thing is LD essential. Picture transfer is kind of iffy because they have a lot of weird processing on it, but Phantom Menace, Dolby AC3 EX, the debut of the EX system, This thing is a track to demo your home theater still. The remixed version on the DVD does not touch it. The Blu-ray audio is just pitiful in comparison. All you have to do is put on the pod race sequence. But really the whole end battle, as soon as Duel of the Fates comes on, all the Starfighter effects, I mean, this thing, it's a powerhouse. It is worth purchasing for the audio alone. And of course, it's only a Japanese import, so you do have to deal with Japanese subtitles hard coded, but you know, it's still a really solid LD, and surprisingly, it pops up for relatively cheap. You can get it for $25 or under. So of course, my copy's mint, but I don't have the Obi. So yes, I know I lose cool points for that. But yeah, premiere of the EX systems, you get the matrix center rear information behind you. But what's cool about EX is if you don't have the ability to decode it, if your speakers are set up right, it's phantom in, so it naturally appears behind you. So you will still get that information if you don't have extra channels or 6.1 or 7.1. It will great, actually still be there. Yeah. So you'll hear, you know, Jar Jar or the just all the various little sound effects, or I'm a person, my name is Anakin. You know, all the little things we love. Gosh, I quote this movie too much. There's somebody at work who can't stand the prequels, so they were rubbing it in one day. So I proceeded to do nothing but Phantom Menace quotes for 2 straight weeks. What is going on down there?
The best quotes of all.
Yeah, always the most random ones, just to rub it in. Like, how do you think this trade viceroy will deal with the chancellor's demands? These Federation types are cowards. The negotiations will be short. So number 4 should be no surprise for anybody who knows with me. I'm obsessed with this movie. This mix is phenomenal. Everybody should own this disc. It's a super common, but it's an LD exclusive because every time they put this movie out, even the DVD, which ports the LD master, they mix all the bass out. I don't know why. And so for years I was like, is this the theatrical track? Finally got a chance to see a print screening at an art house where the audio practically destroyed that auditorium because they're set up for mono and indie films and stuff. And so they've done a couple. They did Speed and they did Mission Impossible within the same month as a midnight movie. And, you know, they usually do like the cool stuff. They'll show RoboCop or they'll show Aliens from the DCP or something. But on their film side, they're set up for indie films. And they did a renovation, but they didn't put any money into the sound. So I'm like, guys, just be forewarned. You know, I know you haven't seen this movie in a long time because I know some people who work there. And I'm like, so yeah, I'm going to be there and I'm going to be sitting in the front row. Mission Impossible. This track is freaking glorious. It is it has Gary Rydstrom involved. As soon as you see his name, you know it's going to be Sonic Nirvana. Of course, Gary Rydstrom was involved in Terminator 2, Jurassic Park, and still is mixing all kinds of titles to this day, still does a lot of work for Spielberg. But this track is just so phenomenal. And only on the LD, it has so much extra oomph in the bass and the LFE track. There's a lot more low end that's supposed to be there, even in the small scenes. So my favorite demo to show people, I show them the aquarium restaurant scene. And I'll play it for them on the DVD, the Blu-ray, even the 4K doesn't have the bass on there. And that's a great disc. Finally, they retransferred it. But I show people that on some version. I say, you want to hear how that really sounds? And it's exactly how the LD sounds, exactly the way the print sounds. So the print had all the bass. So I was finally able to confirm this is the theatrical track. So I play the aquarium scene and you get all the nice De Palma cutaways and buildups, and it's like it's going to boil over. And as soon as he throws the gum, the sound cuts out and it gets quiet. And then when the explosion happens, you get literally this wall coming through your subwoofer. It just rises upwards and then like it's moving through with the wave of the water, and then Tom Cruise jumps through the glass and does the slow-mo arm motion, and it's like it just whooshes through your home theater. I mean, yeah, this is essential ownership. And the great thing is, if you don't have RF decoding capability, the ProLogic track has the bass as well, so yes, it's on there too. So you can, yes. So and you can be able to enjoy it on that as well. And of course, this is a super common disc, so there's the picture transfer is also outstanding. So, this is like top tier. Everybody needs to own this.
Just don't accidentally get the non-widescreen one because you forgot to look at the top of the jacket. Because I've done that.
Yeah, I've got it for you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just because I'm a geek, I found the Japanese one too, just because. So
I used to have that.
Here's my
that.
Obi flexing, but yeah, same transfer, of course, IRE difference, so it's a lot darker, but this also has the boomtastic theatrical AC3 on it as well.
I think I got rid of mine because it didn't have the Obi, because it's not really, it's not worth it if you don't have the Obi.
All right, so
this was almost on my list. I see what you got.
I'm trying to do a dramatic build-up. Dang it!
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'll edit it out.
So my top three are DTS, not by design, but
right.
This was my first DTS disc. This was my rediscovery of this film a number of years ago. It was that wasn't one of the first LDs I got, but it was after I'd been in the format a couple months. It popped up at my local store in the shrink for $2.99. And I was like, oh my God, this is a DTS disc. I cannot believe this. This must be a misprint. I shall say nothing and purchase it immediately. And then I ran through the hurdles of, I was using my old CLD D702, which was going crazy. So then when I first tried to watch this, the sound kept cutting out. And I'm but this is DTS. It shouldn't have any problems. And I found out firsthand that older players or players that are having a lot of trouble, if you put DTS on, it's literally so much. The laser is just like, I cannot handle this. I shall die.
We've discovered some receivers don't like the cut of some DTS discs jibs either. Like we've had some kind of weird handshake issues with certain receivers.
I still have them. Yep. If I watch a DTS disc on my I have an Onkyo 626, which is, from about 2012 or so, but, I bought it refurbed. It does everything great, plenty of power and everything. But if I run DTS and then I try to run something else, it takes it a little while. It's like, I'm stuck on crazy DTS mode. Like it has to take a breather, And of course, on HDMA, it's the codec is so much bigger, but it's like, it's easier to run those for some reason. You run one of these and it's like, it's a workout.
Yeah.
So this one, I adore this film. I'm obsessed with it. And the mix on this thing is just to die for. And this is one of those, I've compared every version. This was early DTS, so I think it does have the slightly cooked surrounds, but for this movie, it makes it
that dropped
better
immediately. Yeah.
So I'm trying to think how should I try and I'm trying to be dramatic about this. Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows.
Nice.
The sun is shining, but the ice
is
slippery. This will identify you to each other as my agents. So this, of course, is the 1994 adaptation of The Shadow. This is a fantastic film if you've never seen it. It's part Dick Tracy, 1990. It's part Batman, 89, built around the classic Shadow character, who basically is the originator of every superhero conceit we can possibly think of. And what's cool about this is they blend both the radio version and a bit with bits of the pulp character version, because the two are actually completely different. In the pulps, he doesn't have any powers. He just has 245s, fists, and a network of agents, and everybody dies. And they're great. They're full on detective stories. Whereas the radio stories, they didn't have the ability to go that dark, so they invented the clouding men's mind stuff and His Girl Friday, Margot Lane, and all that stuff. So it's cool to see them working with both sides of the fence. But this soundtrack, I mean, the way that they pan the Shadow's voice all around
on
in
the
a
bridge
360 degree
on.
pattern. Yes. And right at the beginning, from the opening. But on top of that, as soon as the opening title starts, you get Jerry Goldsmith's theme music, which I think is one of the best scores he ever wrote. In fact, I think his Shadow theme is up there. I think the only things that compare with it are Elfman's Batman and John Williams' Superman. Like, it's that level.
Yeah,
and his entire score is start to finish, balls to the wall, outstanding. And that combined with the really innovative sound design, particularly in the way they continually pan the Shadow's voice around, and then the gunshots have some of that. There's always like this sense of swirling, and you have to literally follow the voice, and sometimes because you can't see the Shadow, you don't know where he is in the room, and they really play around with that. Most of all in when he confronts Tim Curry's Farley Claymore at the very end inside the hotel ballroom, and Farley Claymore. And then Tim Curry just takes the Tommy gun and he fires all over the room, laughing maniacally, and the bullets just swirl over your head and all over the place, and they're just ping-ponging everywhere. And then he stops, and you hear the clink of the bullet shells, and then he's like, "Haha, got you." And then you just hear the laugh come out of the darkness. It's like, oh, now that's sound design. It's not just about being loud, it's about being creative and really getting you in that environment. So this is one not everybody would talk about, but if you've played the DTS, you know. And I've compared it to every other version. The letterbox one, this is actually a newer transfer, so the picture quality is vastly improved over the old
you got
one.
like what, 3-year difference?
Yeah.
Between the two.
And that just sounds pretty good, but it's Matrix, but it does not go anywhere near as detailed. And I do think, again, I think this does have the slightly cooked surrounds, because the DVD and the Blu-rays do sound almost as good, but they don't have that, oomph to them. But that may be because they add EQ and they slightly tweak things, because they're like, it's got to play okay on a smartphone or a sound bar, or this thing is hot. We can't release that. There's standards and practices. People might hurt their ears. You can't do that.
Give us a near field mix.
Yes, 75 dB only. None of this 85 dB nonsense. So yeah, I had to put this on there. This is just one. This is a disc worth having a home theater for. It's that good.
And suddenly it's not easy to find. So
yeah,
it was always on the market, and I kind of took it for granted. So I slept on picking up a copy for myself, and then
I thought I heard you mention that before.
Yeah, I still don't have it. Yeah. I mean, I just have the old boring.
I happen to have
Logic.
a spare, so I will send that your way.
Let's meet offline and work out some deals.
I got a lot of disc once, and I got it for one thing, and then just mixed in. I was like, oh, it's the standard. And I look, I'm like, oh my God, it's another
not.
DTS one. so I've been like, I've had it on the shelf. I'm like, well, maybe I need a spare, just because this is like in my top 10 most played disc ever. Maybe I'll wear the one out. But then I thought I couldn't remember if it was you or somebody else had said that they were needing it, and then you said that, and I'm like,
yeah, believe it or not.
So yes.
I'll let my men get in touch with your men.
Yes, our agents will conspire together.
Exactly.
So getting to the top two, knowing me, you can probably guess what these are going to be. I love the standard pressing of this movie, which I think is the best overall LD ever made for picture quality, extras, and the fact that it's a dirt cheap common. But that disc has the club mix of the film, which has the super toasty AC3 and 2.0 with the heavy bass. So you don't get that on here, but you get an even more detailed sound presentation. And I have done way more comparisons than I care to admit of this film across all formats. And I can say, for me personally, this is the best sounding version of this film on disc anywhere, excepting the super cool club mix that I like, because it has all the boominess to it.
For fun,
Yes.
Yeah.
So that, of course, is the DTS of GoldenEye. Yes. My goodness, this thing, my neighbors run. They just run. They just run. They hear the gun barrel. They're like, oh no. Well, they hear the DTS flying disc logo, and they're gone. They're just like, and I'm just like, I am taking off into the stratosphere of sound. Yeah. The disc starts flying over, and then the THX note comes up, and they're just like, we're taking a vacation. But anyway, so it's the same mix, of course, as what you get everywhere else. What I've always loved about GoldenEye is they mix in, I assume it's by design, but there are old sound library effects that are utilized as well. Some of the gunshots, the plane in the opening pre-title sequence. If you listen very closely, it's the same effect that you hear on the plane in the opening of Flash Gordon. There's a lot of, and I'm pretty sure they did this intentionally, being as this was sort of the relaunch after the 6-year gap for the series. So there's nice little nods like that. But again, the dynamics are really cool because you get the wonderful loud action sequences, but then the dialogue sequences are very well mixed and very involving. It's never a dull sonic experience. And I always felt this way, even watching it growing up on VHS. And so, listening to it folded down in mono makes you really focus on all the dialogue. But even that way, it sounds great. So this thing, it takes what you get on the AC3, removes all of the super crazy low end, but again, it's more detailed, and I think it actually sounds better than the HDMA on the Blu-ray. I really do. It just they sound very close, but this one, it just has that extra sparkle on the top, I sat there like just A-Bing, switching back and forth over and over and over, and I'm like, well, these sound like almost identical, but like, if I just turn the picture off and I'm just sitting there and I'm just flipping back and forth, like I was listening to record pressings, trying to compare them. And I'm just like, it's this one. It's just, it's that good. So if you ever stumble across this is one of those where the DTS is magic.
And it still has the bonus features too, which is nice.
And they are, they're stereo, but they are actually in DTS. So I always wondered how that worked, if they would just be PCM, but yeah. And it's just jam-packed and loaded, but I still think you should have both, because that AC3 one, it's easier to run that most of the times, and it's got that super cool club mix. So yeah,
that's my daily driver, is the AC3 one. Plus this one out on the weekends.
Got to keep it clean. It's much more valuable. So of course, my number one, along the same lines, you all know where this is going.
Tomorrow? Tell us tomorrow. No, wait. Something about tomorrow. I don't know.
I'm trying to remember. Gosh, I'm blanking on the tagline. What was it? It wasn't When Danger Looks Around Every Corner. It's like, it was something. Damn it. I'm trying to remember now. It was like, the truth will only be found tomorrow. It's like something like that. When lies are today, tomorrow will be a new day. DTS Tomorrow Never Dies. The sound mix on this thing is to die for. This is probably, if I had to just pick one movie, regardless of era, people, there's a Blu-ray forum thread on what's the best sounding movie on disc, and I'm like, Tomorrow Never Dies, DTS LaserDisc, and they're like, what? And I'm like, just trust me, it is. The sound mix to begin with is just nonstop, intense, glorious for sound nerds. This thing sounds good on every format known to man. I once made some people sit down when they asked me for a sound demo, and I literally ran the opening pre-title sequence, just the part when all the explosions start going off, when Bond is taking over and essentially stealing the fighter jet. And I played that on every format from VHS all the way to Blu-ray, and showing all how home theater grew, and how even old school linear mono on VHS could sound good. And then going to linear hi-fi, then decoding that out, then showing the PCM on the standard LD, then showing the AC3, the DVD reissue, the DVD DTS. Then I put on the Blu-ray, and I'm like, here it is in lossless HDMA. Listen to how great the sound design is. They've never been able to mess it up. They've never remixed it. And I did all that, and they were like, and I'm like, so after all this, would you like to see and hear and experience how this movie was really supposed to be heard? Let me dial it back a bit. So I'm going to put a LaserDisc in, and I'm just not going to say anything. So I put it in, and I just hit play, and I queued it up, and I just stood back, and they had the whole like thing where their heads are blown
the
back.
Maxell,
Yes. So, and the Blu-ray sounds great. They all sound great because this mix is stupendous. You can't tame it. It's that good. But again, as with GoldenEye, it's just something about this. Again, I don't know if it's a little bit of extra headroom or something, but it's neck and neck. But man, this thing, it's just, if there was one disc to own for sounds, it's this one. And there's so many great sounding discs. I just went for my 5 like the ones that I have to run, the movies I could never watch with headphones on,
Yeah,
like
the neighbor
would be a
killers.
crime.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, and again, the AC3 version sounds fantastic. It's the same mix. This is one of those cases where it's the same mix across the board. It doesn't hurt that, in my opinion, this is the best NTSC transfer of a movie on Laserdisc in history. Man, this thing is
Again, yeah, those DTS transfers are great.
But and the standard one, it's same transfer. So if you can't get because DTS unfortunately usually goes for like $80. That standard one is like $10, and it's just like I don't know a transfer as good as Tomorrow Never Dies. Period. There's no aliasing. There's no edge enhancement craziness. There's no dot crawl. The color, it's better than the first DVD. And it has burned in theatrical subtitles. So there's no no subtitles in the letterboxing info. So it's
Thankfully,
like yes, and the DVD has those awful early player generated subtitles with that awful font that just looks terrible.
Yeah,
so
that.
So that I had to cut myself off. I just went for the top 5 neighbor killers, but man, there's the LD is
respect
for sound is just the doors are wide open.
Excellent. And normally we'd be going to our special guest, our other 5th member, but I don't think our 5th member is appearing. So I think we're going right to Max.
Isn't that him in the corner over there?
Yeah. we forgot to.
There's a mysterious eval board has suddenly appeared.
Yeah, we forgot to take him out of the GIMP cage. Sorry. What do you got, Max?
Okay, so LaserDisc sound for me. I mean, I was watching LaserDisc just because I remembered it. I liked it. Like that's how I started. Like my friend's parents when I was a kid, they had LaserDisc, and like they had like a pretty good sound system then. But like the first one I ever saw was Christmas Vacation. And so that wasn't like some insane sound mix. It was more just like the picture quality and the big shiny disc that like drew me to it. And then as I kind of like got into like collecting them and watching them, I never had a receiver, and I just was watching it from the TV speakers. And then when I got into the group and I started like figuring out that like there's more to it than just like your TV speakers.
Going down the rabbit hole.
The rabbit hole was deep. And like, so I want to totally shout out to Will Wright, who unfortunately
has passed.
He's passed. He was one of the huge influences on me for sound. And he was like, he's the sweetest person. Worked at like a home theater place, was the guy that would come into your home and set it all up. And he spent hours helping me just like go through different models and like what's the best receiver, and like because I go to swap meets and so I'd see stuff all the time and I'm like, well, what should I be looking out for, like what should I get like as my rig? And like I ended up getting this Denon I think it's a AVR 5800. And he was saying, oh, that was the shit, that was so expensive back in the day, like that's the best thing. And then I was like, great, okay. And then I was like, I got my speakers and I was like, how about like Definitive Technology? And like Sam like said Definitive Technology was good.
Gave it a thumbs up.
I was like, all right, I'm getting a rig here. So I have this like, I have a powered center speaker, I have powered tower speakers. At the time I have officially moved, like as of March 1st, I moved my entire apartment, which is just like insanity. So that just, I never was able to have a true like subwoofer. So I had the powered speakers as kind of like a way to like work around it.
Yeah.
But I had the rear surrounds. And so my rig was really like just totally helped by everyone in the group and mainly Will, who was so nice to help me with things. But so I also chose mine based on the neighbor killers because the upstairs unit with the freaking surround system, like it would be the knock on the door, like what's going on in here?
Wait, broom handle on the floor.
So if you didn't have a sub, that's actually really good if you were on top, because that's what does it the most, and it goes right through the floor every time.
I was like, I can't be that person. Like, that's so rude. So
Yeah.
like I did my best. I had like this hugely oversized for the rest of it center speaker with the sub in the center.
Yeah,
So
I got
that
one
was
of those.
that was my workaround. And then that
Yeah.
was like up, high enough where it wouldn't be anywhere near the floor. I was like, okay, this will work. So going with
Yeah, nobody's
Yes.
had this yet.
I'm surprised. Yes, it's so true.
I mean, this really, this is just a great movie. And like, I've watched this more recently and was just like, man, this is a freaking good movie. Like, and this is such a, like, I feel like this even still, like, it's a little bit harder to find the AC3, but like, not really. Like, you can get this.
Yeah.
Oh,
you can
yeah.
find it.
And
That's
this
a
is-
must own for
Totally.
sure. Yeah.
Totally must own. And yeah, absolutely all the freaking planes and everything.
It's a
is-
gatefold, even though it's only one disc, right? So it's a little bonus. Yeah.
Yes, it is a gatefold. This is a sealed copy. I had to pull
Ooh,
all of my
snap.
choices. Had to pull all my choices
Oh, from the
room
stock?
here.
From the,
From
from
here,
the
yeah.
stock, yeah.
So there was a few that I didn't
Yep.
have duplicates of because
Yep.
I just didn't have them, and I don't have any of my boxes open yet. So I did have to make some slightly different choices because I didn't have my boxes. But
Top Gun also features the best shirtless volleyball scene in a movie.
oh, I mean, hands down.
You can hear it. You can hear
And
those.
only
yaks.
is rivaled possibly by C. Thomas Howell in Inside Out. That's another conversation.
Top 5 volleyball films.
Yeah.
Ah, look at what we have here.
Aha, repeat appearance.
It's so good. I mean, there's
Yeah.
literally, I cannot add anything. Spencer said it all. Like, this is so good. Like, this is, unfortunately, there's some weird business going on with her face. I don't know if you can see it. She's
No.
got like her top part of her face is like raised. She's got like a slice.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
But this cover has something wacky going on with it. But it's in the shrink wrap, and it's a free. I mean, it's great. This one is great. Of all the Bond movies, that aren't Sean Connery, that's one of my favorites.
Do you like the club mix?
Do you have the AC3 one?
I don't. I have it here, but that's the one I watched.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the AC3 one.
Oh,
Only
just wait till
seen
you
it,
watch
yeah.
it the first time. If
Just-
you have a
yeah.
sub now, you will be very happy. Like,
I know.
it's not.
I'm still getting a sub.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Like, as soon as you get a sub, it's not as good as the DTS in terms of like clarity and all like the fine tuned stuff. It's still the same audio, but the LFE is jacked. Like,
Yeah,
it's just
10
like
dB hot or
yeah, like,
something.
exactly. Yes. Oh, it's and it's like you walk into a nightclub where they have the chest high speakers everywhere, and it just hits you. So then I started calling it the club mix, and I keep saying that. So I'm hoping it catches on, because that's that's exactly what it's like.
We'll start getting those hashtags out there. Golden
Yes.
Eye Club Mix.
I love club mix. That's great. It's
Yeah.
a great term. Okay.
Right. Oh, nobody's had this either.
I tried to go a little outside the box too. I did my best.
I
But yes,
thought
this-
about putting Pulse in, but I was like, yeah, I don't know.
This one is like pretty freaking legendary.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Very hard to get.
I seriously have 3 copies of this in here. I'm not even joking.
damn. Wow.
And then I have for sure one in my boxes.
Hmm.
Like, so I don't know how
You're hoarding them all.
I don't know how I ended up holding them. I honestly cannot tell you that. I was actually shocked because when I went to go look, I was like, oh, maybe I might have this, is what I was thinking. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, and
Like,
you do. With a vengeance.
yeah, but this is I mean, this is freaking I personally like prefer the cover on this one as well. The whole
Yeah, it's-
Oh yeah,
great.
Yeah.
it's a great cover. But this is just, I mean, sound quality wise, this is for sure the best of the three plus
I know.
versions there are.
And it's got the commentary track too. So
Yes, which is super cool.
Yeah.
When I first saw this, it was on DVD,
Hmm.
and that was like years and years and years ago, way before I had a LaserDisc player. I saw it on DVD, and then I was like, when I saw this, I was like, damn,
yeah.
crush that DVD. Like,
Yeah. It spits it out.
it's not even close.
Eats it for breakfast.
Yeah. Okay, this one for real, no joke.
Yeah, buddy.
Neighbors were very, very
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah, you're in
like-
Los Angeles. That could be real.
God, it was like
It is
real.
real.
It was real. Oh my gosh. I put this on. It was like the afternoon, like on like a Saturday. This thing's going, and it's like it was a problem. It was a problem.
Yeah.
It was so, I mean, this just that just infamous scene.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. You have to absolutely be freaking remote police going.
That's what
Like-
I say. You gotta have it in your hand, write it back and forth. Yeah.
It was just like it was out of control.
Yep.
It was so good, so good.
Hell
So
yeah.
I'm totally another one where you can get this. It's not a problem. You
Oh, yeah.
don't have to look that hard, and it's absolutely worth it. I first had I'm pretty sure that I had heard it with the without the AC3, and then when I realized the AC3 wasn't pumping, I'm like, whoa! And then then it like took it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, they're both
Like,
great.
I thought that was loud before. Like it was serious.
has been unlocked.
Yeah. Because the Denon I'm running has the AC3 decoder built in,
Mhm.
and I have like a separate unit because I had a Yamaha receiver previous that had the AC3 built in, and the AC3 board died out in that
Oh,
in that
wow.
receiver. I don't know what the heck happened. It sounded like sand and gravel in the speakers, and I was like, whoa. And so I ended
Yeah.
up putting the Denon instead, and like I basically have the Pioneer with the rosewood sides. I think it's the
Oh, yeah,
S
the
style.
99D.
The
The
99. Yeah.
99,
Yeah.
I have that on standby because I
Yeah.
just have this feeling my Denon's board's gonna crap out one day, and I'm gonna be like,
Yeah, hold on to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just running this from the AC3 from the straight receiver. So
Excellent.
okay, number one.
Oh, nobody's had this. Oh, DTS.
Yes.
Look at that. Flex,
This
flex.
I was going to go with Jurassic Park DTS, but I don't have an extra of it, and
Oh,
it's in
wow.
the box. So this was my
Yep.
second choice for number one. Is this one sounds incredible. I mean, this movie already is just like crazy. The freaking the just real regular one sounds great.
Oh, yeah.
This just like maybe that much better.
Yeah, the extra
Yeah, I was
flavor.
gonna say there's a debate that still rages. So can we settle it here? Because I've been asked. I only have the AC3 one, so people ask all the time, "What's better, AC3, DTS, DVD, Blu-ray? You know, all these others." So I'm like, I just have the AC3, so I don't know.
I have both cuts, but I just have the AC3s too. Yeah.
I think it's this puppy. I think
It
this one-
probably is.
this
Yeah,
one-
because
I mean,
there's
it's-
usually they advance just that much more. If it's anything like, I almost put Long Kiss Goodnight on here. That one,
That is a killer.
like I heard noises, people knocking on the doors, something happening, what's
That-
going on? And I'm like, things
That like
fall
early
over.
like fight scene in her house when she's like discovering what she is like, just the stuff
Yeah.
going on in there is just like
Then you
it's-
put the AC3 one on,
Oh,
same
yeah.
track, but it's just like
that almost hit my
it's
list.
like 40%, you
Yeah.
know, and it's like, man,
Last Man Standing, same thing.
yes.
Oh yeah, a lot of the DTS ones. I've really had to restrain myself from keeping all of them because I really don't want to hoard them because I
Yeah.
would. So I,
Yeah.
I
Just
have
that
a
thrill of
collection
seeing the
here.
banner on the top.
I know.
Oh,
It's pretty cool.
And the special
love-
labels when they have like the red DTS on
Yeah.
there, especially the MGM ones.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
just like, oh,
Show the gatefold.
Nice. Does it have the
Pretty
proof of
nice.
purchase? Oh, it doesn't have the proof of purchase, I don't think.
No,
like
I
the
love the
AC3.
proof of purchase from the AC3. The AC3 also sometimes you get a little
The
card.
inserts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the little,
yeah, mine's got the little insert.
And the Sci-Fox little
yeah.
advert.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've had several sealed ones where that's thankfully it's still inside there.
Yeah. It took me a while to actually get all the stuff that get the little card or whatever too. Yeah.
But yeah, I think this one just, I mean, it just feels like there's aliens in your house. So
There's aliens in my house. I like it.
And your neighbors might have problems.
room with
Yeah.
But yes,
Excellent.
that was my list.
Good choices, everybody.
Mhm.
I'm glad we didn't have too many double dips either, so that was pretty
Yeah, I
impressive.
did- I did my best.
All right, y'all ready for a wolf pick?
Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah, we're gonna throw
Ew.
down. And obviously this will probably be a clean sweep, but I'll let y'all go first. We're gonna do Jurassic Park versus Jurassic Park, DTS, Jurassic Park versus DTS Lost World.
Wow.
Think about that for a second.
Like, which is better? Because
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
I only have the AC3 Lost World.
You don't have to have any actual informed decision making processes going on. You could just like that one looks cooler or something like that.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, Jurassic Park it's got to be Jurassic Park because that was DTS #1. That
it was DTS #1.
Birth of the format, and
All right.
Spielberg had money in it, and Universal then went, "We're going to go DTS because we love Spielberg," and then AC3, we don't like you.
All right.
But yeah, only problem is the LD has those Cook surrounds, but man, once you hear the Cook surrounds, you don't want to unhear them because they're so
pretty impressive.
cool. It's just like, I know this isn't technically accurate, but I like these.
What was it? Ryan had Jurassic Park as well.
Oh yeah, by far. Like
Okay.
I watched them really close to each other, and I'm just like, Lost World's fine. It's a good
Mm-hmm.
DTS disc, but Jurassic Park is on a different level. So
All right.
totally.
All right. What about you, Max? You like dinosaurs. Which one do you like best?
I'm hugely into dinosaurs. I'm a little cold right now. I'm rolling with my dinosaur trick or treat blanket.
That is awesome.
So this is appropriate time frame. But yes, I think I too will go with Jurassic Park. I have seen that in the theater, like at the 35mm theater.
Oh yeah.
With the DTS mix, and that freaking, I mean, that was insane. And then I have the LaserDisc, and it would have been my #1 because I love dinosaurs and loud dinosaurs. So
Hell yeah. All right, I'll be it's not even a tiebreaker, so I'll just be the last. I'm going Lost World only because it's a little bit more balanced, and it doesn't have the crazy over the top stuff. I listened to this not that long ago, and I actually don't like this movie anywhere near as much as I like this movie. But
I agree with that. Yeah.
But sound mix wise, I actually preferred this one in terms of just the balance and I don't know. There was just a lot more. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've heard Jurassic Park too many times, but there was a lot more different environments and kind of.
No, you're right. There is something to that because when a format comes out, when it's new, everybody goes crazy with it. And they're like, "Oh, we can do this." Like when 7.1, it was 6.1. They're like, "Ooh," and then it was 7.1. They're like, "Oh, we can do this." And then Atmos, "Oh, we can do all this." And then they start to calm down, and it's like, "Okay, what can we do with this technology?"
Exactly.
We will enhance what we're already doing, and we don't have to go super crazy by just throwing everything.
So it's a little more nuanced. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. I mean, this is still the GOAT, but yeah, just for a devil's advocate, I'm going with that one. I'll throw up the poll on the LaserDisc Forever page on Facebook, so everybody out there can have fun fighting. We didn't do a Wolfpick last time because we just did the David Lynch Spectacular. So sorry about that. You can throw rocks and garbage at us. All right, we're gonna mix it up.
Address is.
Yeah. Do we have an email address for complaints?
Yes.
Customer service is
It's anon@napster.com.
Okay, cool.
The number is 555-BETS.
We're gonna mix it up a little bit. We're gonna go and do recent spins first, just to put everybody ill at ease and kind of shake up your equilibrium a little bit. Mostly because these tend to kind of mix up with the genre or the top 5 a little bit more than the pickups do. So that's at least the idea. So I'll give you a minute to go kind of reorganize your discs in case you had them in order. I will be relatively quick because I didn't spin too much stuff. I did, as promised from the last one, finish up the Essential Beavis and Butthead collection, which is 2 VHS cassettes worth of shorts. They even go through the trouble of showing you little graphic representations of the VHS cassettes, which are Work Sucks and There Goes the Neighborhood. 90 minutes worth of Beavis and Butthead shorts without the music videos, which is funny because when the show started, I watched the very first episode when it first aired, and I was like into Spike and Mike's Sick and Twisted animation festivals, and loved the Beavis and Butthead shorts and the Milton shorts and stuff. And I remember being pissed off when it first aired because I'm like, music videos, they're just cheaping out so they don't have to animate for a full half hour. So it's hilarious how that became such an important part of the show, and they really ran with it. But still, for licensing issues, they could not really afford to put all those on these LaserDiscs. So there you go. I just need the there's like a weird Hong Kong or Taiwanese one. Ryan's probably got it with some extra shorts.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Oh,
Find that.
Yeah, put it on your list, and I'll
go to his contacts in Taiwan.
842 later.
Yeah. So yeah, there's one other, and I think it's different episodes too, or there might be a little bit of crossover, but yeah. So the Essential Collection. Max tipped me off for that one, so thanks, Max.
No problem.
And because we were doing 5.1 surround and all that stuff, I decided to go with the Beatles, and it doesn't have 5.1 surround. So this took up a ton of my time. I'd never dug into the anthology before, and I remember when this box set came out, and it was heralded as the next big, kind of the next Star Wars definitive collection. It was like the kind of LaserDisc you had to have, and of course it drew people into LaserDisc that were just into coming at it from a musical standpoint. And Beatles fans were buying this without even having a player too.
You didn't buy the VHS box version?
Yeah.
Haven't you seen those where it's like literally many tapes, and it's like but they're all white. So
the discs are actually downstairs because I'm still watching them because it's 8 discs. So I'm
I was about to say you're flipping that box around like it was nothing, and I'm like,
no way. It would be down here otherwise.
I was like, how is he doing that?
There's no way. It's a gorgeous box set. I wish I had brought up the disc, but I'll be talking about this probably a little bit long next episode too, because I still haven't finished it. But it's great. It's got of course 3 of the Beatles that were alive at the time of the filming of this in the mid 90s, kind of going over their history. And if you have Backbeat already on LaserDisc and a few other Beatles discs, you want to get this beast to put on your shelf as well. Sounds great too. The interesting thing is I noticed on the sheet that came on the back here, it just says stereo all over the place, but at the end of the credits on each quote unquote episode, the Dolby Surround logo is on there, so as if it was mixed for Matrix Surround. So
it probably was. A lot of TV stuff has the credit at the end, but if you decode it, it's usually just stereo. But sometimes you get lucky and they do some stuff. But like you see it, like it's on every Frasier episode randomly. It's like they used it on sitcoms, and I'm like surround, and so you try it, and it's like it just centers the dialogue. But like some cartoons from back then have some pretty cool surround mixes. So
for these early ones, it's mostly screaming girls and stuff, and then there's lots of mono performances, from old TV shows and everything like that. But it's great. It's just a lot of fun. So
I think I've heard they did change some stuff for the DVD, so the LD is important for that.
I thought I heard that too, that there's something specific.
I think it's like some of the fan noise and some of the other stuff they tweaked or changed or something. I'm like, oh, okay.
And it's cool to hear them. Yeah, they're very casual in the conversation. They're dropping swears and things like that. Those naughty boys. So it's cool. It's really, it's really fun watch. So I was having a great time with that. So while I should have been watching DTS discs like Ryan, I was watching the Beatles.
Put a DTS sticker on it and say, "Oh yeah, the DTS version. It's super rare. There's only one." I'll
Photoshop something over this. Yeah, there we go.
Yes. DTS mono.
What have you been watching, Ryan?
I watched mostly DTS discs.
Big surprise.
Oh, really?
I'll start with the one I watched most recently.
Nice.
I'd actually never seen this. It came out when I was like 13, so I wouldn't have been able to see it in the theaters. And
same here.
I'm sure.
I was a wee bit younger.
I saw the ending coming from a mile away, but it was still really, really good. And the sound's really good too. I really enjoyed it. And the ending sequence is just really, really strong. And DTS just plays right into it.
I like the spot gloss on the jacket.
Yeah, those are cool. And it's got the same transfer as the Criterion. So it's that CCE print transfer.
Yep. Beautiful transfer. Like that's the thing. You can't go wrong watching the DTS discs, even if you're watching them on like stereo or the analog tracks.
Nice.
Watch From Dusk Till Dawn. This is really fun.
No one's serious.
The bats outside the titty twister.
Yeah.
That's some good surround.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was really close to my 5, but I had to pare it down. I'm like, I guess I can put this in my watch. Like that's the nice thing about having these like specific focuses is you can watch like just a bunch, and you know, you might not always watch more than like one or two if you have 86 of them. But
I would have had 500 without a hard limit.
There we go.
Yes.
I watched this, and the reason why this doesn't make my top 5 is there's not enough good sound because there's so much other things going on. There's a lot of drama and just
it's the one section that takes all the spotlight.
I mean, when the spaceship's taking off, it's pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
I watched this.
Yes, you did.
The most Brotarian
Incredible.
title ever.
Like, it sounds good, don't get me wrong, it really does. If you're into musicals, like the mix,
Like you are. Yep.
yeah, if you're into musicals like South Park, let me recommend Evita. No, the mix is great. Man, I knew a little bit about Evita, but I didn't realize that like Kamala Harris basically copied her like Move to the Top. So it was pretty interesting parallel. And then I also watched this.
Wow.
It's not DTS.
Feel the flexing.
It was a nice AC3 mix, but man, like watching it in between some of these DTS mixes, it just didn't feel as good. Like,
feels so tiny.
yeah, like it didn't pop like I was wanting, and I'd been like watching all these others. I'm like, man, like I feel let down, and it was still really good. And like, you know, Samuel L. Jackson gets eaten by a shark.
Does it have the LL Cool J video on it though?
I didn't go past the credits, so I don't know.
Oh, deepest bluest, man. It's the best.
Maybe, but I doubt it. I mean, I don't know how long the movie was, so there's a chance, but probably not. Let's
Watch the video on YouTube. It's great.
Yeah.
Probably won't. So yeah, I'll pass it off to Spencer.
Okay, so I've got just some of the discs I've been watching through, and I'm still on a quest to watch all my unwatched discs, which is very difficult to do, but I'm chipping
Awesome.
away at it.
Yeah.
So I try to go chronologically, but then I also just like pull random things off the shelf, and then new stuff comes in, and I have to sort those in. And so I started at the very beginning, and I got up to like, you know, the late 30s, which for me is a lot because most of my collection is pre 1970s.
So you're limited to 5. Pick 5.
Oh yeah. So anyway, so this one came in, and I had to put it on immediately. And this one, it's DTS. The mix sounds very good, but it's just not quite like the actual mix itself. It's not 100% top tier like the other ones. But I watched the DTS of Con Air.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
I hadn't seen this since we rented it back in the day. I'd seen clips of it. Of course, you see the memes and stuff, and you know, it's full on 90s Jerry Bruckheimer. So, and also this means it's one of the, you know, it's a Disney movie, and on Blu-ray it has PCM 5.1, so it should sound really great, like The Rock and Enemy of the State. But yeah, I always meant to grab the standard version, but just never come across it. And I've heard this is a newer transfer.
Mm-hmm.
The transfer on this thing is just like, I was just sitting there. I just kept pausing it. I was just like, oh God, oh God, look at that. Look at that clear blue sky and that fine detail on the cage and the swaying of the hair. And this is NTSC. How is this possible? This is one of the best LaserDisc transfers I've ever seen. It's astonishing. So if that's true, that this was a newer master than the older disc, I can believe it. Man, this thing is like, you know, top 15 picture quality, easy. Nice. I mean, stunning. Otherwise, same cover, you know, same just single CLV disc as the standard one. The DTS mix is nice in your face. It's just in terms of the mix itself, it's not quite, you know, the top tier reference that we've been talking about, but it's up there. You know, it's a nice time in the home theater, but yeah, the picture quality is so good. Like, I'm like, I know this is a DTS disc, but I'm just blown away by the picture. So yeah, this is, if you find one of these, just grab it. Just it's, oh my gosh. Yeah. Almost completely aliasing free. It's almost impossible to have an LD without like a little flash somewhere.
Yeah.
There's like a little, like, you know, it's like lines on the road or the guardrails on the side of the highway or
chrome trim on the car.
Long shots, especially. Yeah. So there's like a tiny twinge in like one or two shots, which is, you know, it's going to happen. But outside of that, I mean, wow. So yeah, that was a surprise.
Excellent.
And that one's still relatively cheap to find if you're looking on eBay, which is surprising.
I know.
Really?
I know.
So of course, that's the most modern thing I watched. Surprise, surprise. For some reason, I just went to, I was like, I'm going to skip my chronological thing and go right for some World War II stuff because we got snowed in and snow happens. And I immediately think on Her Majesty's Secret Service, where Eagles Dare, Ice Station Zebra, and we got like 8 inches of snow. And I'm like, time for the World War II things. So
like your whole city was shut down for 8 inches, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Which I know for you is nothing. You're just like, that's a mere dusting.
Late morning.
Yeah. So there's no snow in this film. Well, there's a little bit when they get into the mountains at the end, but I had never actually seen this all the way through. Always meant to. So I ran it for the first time fully on LD, which of course is the classic Von Ryan's Express.
Oh, nice.
This is a fantastic World War II film if you haven't seen it. Directed by Mark Robeson. It's starring Sinatra. It's well made, well put together. This is a picture they don't make anymore, and it holds up really, really well. Of course, when you see this, and because Sinatra is the lead, there are some moments where it's still sort of not quite old-fashioned studio movie, but it's sort of, there are little twinges of that.
Sure.
But because it is still mid 60s. But yeah, I mean, lots of location work, and when they're actually on the train, it's a real train. And then when they do use some model footage, there's some model work, it's really well done. It holds up remarkably well and has a really nice punch to the ending that's not quite expected. So there's some nice jokes, but it's otherwise pretty grim. Sort of like a cross between Great Escape and basically imagine Great Escape, but a little bit darker and on a train. Sort of like it starts in a prison, but then they quickly get put on the prison train, and then they hijack the prison train, and then go for broke trying to get across the border to freedom. But of course complications ensue. So it's a really interesting mix. And of course, anytime Sinatra's in a movie, he had sort of producer's control. This is another one where it is a mixture of different styles. And a really cool note, apparently they did shoot scope footage on this, but then Sinatra insisted his scenes be shot with Panavision lenses because he didn't want the mump faces.
Oh yeah.
So like he had it in his contract. So if you look very closely, you can actually see, like, if you want to get really geeky around Sinatra scenes, it does look a little different. Like it's a little bit sharper because apparently it was in his contract.
That couldn't have been cheap. Like
Panavision lenses,
extra lenses and everything. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got to switch them and then change the lighting a little bit. But I mean, if that was the reason why, he was exactly right, because the mump faces were real, and it did give everybody that iconic. And then the other World War II film I'd run that I hadn't seen in way too long. This one is super underrated. The story it's really much more episodic. The script does not hold up exactly because you're like, wait, why are we watching this? But every scene is really well directed, very well written. So even though it doesn't quite hang together, and then suddenly it becomes a giant James Bond style underground base at the end, it's fantastic. That's Operation Crossbow, which has other titles. This is a fantastic picture. It's basically a World War II spy picture, and they put Sophia Loren all over the front, but she's only in one scene, because there was a contractual thing with Carlo Ponti producing this. But yeah, this is really well made. It's got tons of stars and a lot of great character actors. There is a lot of practically all the German dialogue is in German, and it is subtitled. So I should mention this, and Von Ryan's Express does have the subtitles in the letterboxing. So I had to keep constantly unzooming,
adjusting.
And so eventually with Von Ryan's Express, it's very much, scattered, but Crossbow, all the German dialogue is in German. So eventually I just gave up and watched it window boxed. But what's really cool about this, where Von Ryan's Express was one way, this was actually released in 70 millimeter in Europe. Here in the States, we just got 35 mil in mono. So this actually syncs up the 70 millimeter mix until you get to the last 2 reels where it suddenly collapses to mono. So I think they found like most of the 70 mil mix, and then just either had to give up or it just didn't work for the last 2 reels.
Weird.
I kept stopping. I'm like, what's going on? And I kept checking, and then sure enough, I'm like, oh, it just went mono. Okay. Warner Archive has done this on Blu-ray, and it's 5.1, so I really want to get that. But I forgot how well made this is. The suspense scenes are fantastic. The performances are great. The only problem is that the script is kind of episodic, but you get a whole lot of stuff. It feels longer than it is. It's under 2 hours, but it feels like 2.5.
Is it two discs or one?
Yeah, it's a 2-discer. Nice gatefold and everything. The side breaks are good. And what's cool is this includes a vintage piece, how they advertise the film, one of the little promos, but it's all about rocketry actually instead.
Oh, okay.
Because this is all about the Germans when they try to develop more advanced rockets at the end of World War II, but then it sort of takes that scenario and pushes it to where, what if they had gotten to that point? Yep. And then the secret operatives they have who are undercover find out more than they're supposed to. And then at the end, they're inside this beautifully designed underground base set. I mean, it's an astonishing set for the 60s, and totally trying to do Ken Adam.
I was going to say, did Ken Adam do it? Or
yeah, it's so realistic up to that point. And then when they do the reveal shot and they're brought in and you see the steel doors, and then they open and the camera pulls back, and all because it's built underneath a mountain and the rocks disappear.
Volcano, or
yes. And this is pre You Only Live Twice too. So this and Armand Flint do the volcano thing before. So it was an idea people already had. But yeah, it's basically like 2 or 3 movies kind of glued together, but it's really impressive, very well directed. But yeah, the LD is a cool attempt to at least try and get that 70 mil mix. And then one more
drum roll.
It's not even from the 60s.
What? It's from the 50s.
It's from the 50s, yes. And of course, talking CinemaScope, this is MGM's first CinemaScope movie, which is a movie very few people talk about. I've been meaning to see for a while. Picked up the LD, and because the DVD is one of those Warner discs that's very expensive for no reason. So yeah, watch 1953's Knights of the Round Table with everybody's favorite historical picture actor who doesn't fit in any of them, Robert Taylor, with a very deep voice like this. But yeah, this is after Quo Vadis and Ivanhoe, those are 2 fantastic historical films. So then they decided, hey, well, we should do a movie about Arthurian legend. And it's actually pretty good. It holds up rather well. The transfer is a little soft, but this is actually stereo surround encoded because CinemaScope was 4-track magnetic on all their original runs. So this will give you left, center, right surround. This has an incredible Miklos Rozsa score. So even though there's a little bit of distortion in the source they used on one of the channels, the score sounds so amazing. It is a little bit on the hokey side because, when they're swinging the swords around and the armor, and every suit of armor has all these bright colors because it was really pushing the Technicolor. And this was actually shot by Freddie Young. So the composition is really impressive for early CinemaScope. And there's no real mumps issues either, which is really impressive for 1953. But you can also tell this is probably one of the films Monty Python watched in preparing for Holy Grail because, they said, we watched all these Arthurian movies and they were all just like, swinging the sword, and they were so terrible. And I couldn't shake the feeling. I feel like this is one of the ones they had to have watched. Yeah. Because like when you see the King Arthur in this film, he's played by Mel Ferrer in this film. I couldn't help because he kind of looks like Graham Chapman because he has blonde hair. And I'm like, they totally watched this because like the first sword fight scene, Robert Taylor's like, they pick up the broadswords, and I'm like, oh my god,
I'm not dead yet.
Oh, it just started, So if you can get over that, because it's from the 50s, it's a little bit hokey, and the transfer on here is a little bit on the soft side. It actually is. It's pretty good. It's not as good as Ivanhoe was, because that came out. It made a ton of money, and the MGM was like, "Oh, I guess we should make historical films." So they made this. It made money. Then they did a third one with Taylor, and it bombed. So then, like, okay, we're done. And they made these films with their British division. So you have all these great British character actors. So it was for a time where they were making films in Britain with their little British studio, and then just selling it as if they'd done it themselves. But yeah, it's actually one of the best Arthurian films I've seen. It really is. So yeah, I would recommend this if you're into Arthurian legend on film. But of course, most people will go right to Excalibur, which basically is the same general story. But this is played much straighter. But yeah, I was actually very, very pleasantly surprised. But the score for this thing is fantastic. And of course, I dig into it more, and I see all the soundtrack nerds writing all these great articles about the Miklos Rozsa score for this film, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense now. So yeah,
together.
And of course MGM's first attempt at CinemaScope, and because of that, they shot this film twice. All their early CinemaScope films, they were terrified it wouldn't work, so they shot it in Academy as well,
just in case.
Yeah, and I first heard that because John Sturges said they did that on Bad Day at Black Rock, and I'm like, you mean there's another version of Bad Day at Black Rock somewhere? So yeah, on these early films, there are apparently alternate Academy versions floating around that are probably lost, but that would be cool to see. But yeah. This was impressive. Again, not perfect, but if you're in the mood for 50s historical drama with bits of romance shoehorned in there, this is actually pretty good, and the score is freaking incredible.
Nice. All right, Max is up.
Oh man,
what have you been watching?
Well, I have been moving,
doing stuff
rather than watching it.
Yeah, so I can't say I blame you.
Yeah, so I watched one in this room because this is the only laser just hooked up right now. Is in this
broke
room.
It in,
but I literally left it at home, so I will.
Right. Bing.
So it was cross mission.
It was happy birthday to me.
What was it?
Happy birthday to me.
Oh, nice.
I watch that one every year around my birthday, so I had to watch that one.
Nice. I was just showing the Blu-ray I got the last episode, so it's very apropos. Is there a Japanese version or is it the US version?
It's the US version.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll be there.
Nice. Excellent. I'll work my magic.
That's all I had
all right. No, you've been busy, so
yeah.
It all makes sense.
You've been flexing actual boxes of LDs, not just late releases.
Like literally carrying 65 to 70 pound boxes downstairs. Like there's like 3,000 plus. Like, oh my God.
The struggle is real.
The struggle is real.
Never
being literally told like while you're moving, like, man, I see why people get into DVDs. Like,
if you say the word streaming
in
the next 24 hours, I will murder you.
Yeah.
You don't understand, man.
That's right. Physical media, baby.
Yes.
Well, yeah, more power to you, and hopefully you'll get everything organized soon.
Yes,
and
very soon. I'm working on it.
Cool. All right, well, I guess we'll transition into recent pickups instead. And I didn't get too many, so mine will be relatively quick. I did get some pickups from the Bro Master, Alpha Bro 25 himself. He sent me Rasputin.
Cool.
The Mad Monk, which is part of the Hammer collection, which I'd been picking up some of the other ones from that one guy who was selling sealed elite copies. So, and awesome. Yeah, I got to watch this one still. Christopher Lee, and I don't think there's like commentary track or anything like that, but I just liked how Elite dropped these. In what year did this come out?
It's nice.
Probably 98.
That's funny. It gives a 93 renewal for the actual copyright, but yeah, it doesn't say, but I'm guessing it's 98, something like that. But anyways, little Anchor Bay logo too there. And
cool.
Are you gonna watch it back to back with its co-feature?
Which one?
Dracula Prince of Darkness, because that was made
when
they were doing the back-to-back films.
Oh yeah.
And they would literally just reuse the sets and the crew and the cast and do a whole other movie to save money. So if you watch from that era, it's not, because back in the old days you would play spot the sets because they couldn't build new sets because they had no money, and they would just redress the same staircase, and it's really cool to play spot the set. But on those, they would literally just redress them slightly and use the exact same cast, but they wouldn't release them together because you would spot that. So they would split them into other double features.
A little bit. It's like spot the town square from Back to the Future in 80s movies. And then the bro also sent me American Yakuza 2 back to back.
Wow.
Michael
Right
Rooker.
time, right place, wrong partner.
See, almost had it. So yeah, psyched to spin this up. I haven't got a chance to spin it up yet. And of course, it doesn't have Viggo Mortensen like American Yakuza 1, but I'm sure this is going to answer all the questions I had at the end of American Yakuza 1. So
100%.
yeah.
Well, yeah, and that one was made for TV, right?
Yeah, I don't even know if it was Showtime or Fox or whatever, but I am
ABC after school special.
Yeah, I think it was an ABC Family, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it has a TV dub.
On a very special American Yakuza. So super psyched for that. Then the bro man slipped another one in that I wasn't expecting. Slaughterhouse Rock, which is a little bit of a film that features music. And of course, you see something like this and you're thinking, well, obviously Slayer did the soundtrack, but no. Music by Devo. Yeah. Perfect. So yeah, Mark Mothersbaugh and Devo did a bunch of, there's like Devo songs that I have that are used down here, but as far as I know, there's no actual proper Devo soundtrack. Like this should have been a nice little opportunity for them to release an LP of their tracks. And so yeah, I don't know if they just owed somebody money and had to do it against their wishes, but yeah, dude, Slaughterhouse Rock, check that guy out, man.
And that's got oh Mickey, you're so fun. What's her name?
Tony Basil.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes, I watched that one. That one's actually really good.
And it won the 1987 Silver Scroll Award, the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror. So there you go. Thanks, bro.
Spookies won a Silver Scroll Award too. So
wow.
Spookies didn't have Devo though.
I wouldn't really put much stock in that.
Spookies had fart monsters, but no Devo. If they had both together, that would have been.
I've been a winner.
Mind blown.
And I'm able to finally show another pickup I got. Rush Week.
Ooh.
A little bit of a corner clip there, but yeah.
It's a mark of distinction.
Late 80s slasher movie with not a lot of slashing going on. It's you know she's a young journalist at a college, and she's been assigned by Greg Allman, who is the teacher, the head of the journalism department, who just kind of sleepwalks through the movie randomly while he's not having sex with everybody, and then he assigns her to cover Rush Week, and she uncovers a little bit of a past with girls that keep going missing, and it's actually pretty well done, and it's got a decent amount of suspense, and but yeah, it's got more TNA than it does have graphic violence. There's some fun kind of gore towards the end, but yeah, it's pretty G-rated for a slasher movie, even though it's obviously probably rated R. But there you go, Rush Week.
Cool.
Watched that a bunch of times. And I did buy a disc from Austin, Texas, right when everything shut down and the entire state fell apart and drifted off to sea. I never thought I would get it because even the seller sent me a picture of their house with a bunch of snow in the front yard. I'm like, okay. And they're like, oh my God, we're never going to see the post office again. I'm like, yeah, all right, sure. Yeah. And they're like, this is probably nothing for you, but yeah. But finally the package got out and I got it, and we're going back to Devo, baby.
Yeah.
Complete truth about de-evolution. And this is the Voyager release that has their video for their cover of Jimi Hendrix's Are You Experienced, and that eventually got yanked from the DVD copy that came out. This doesn't have the Dr. Detroit video that got added on the later versions, but so many great, like this really, again, Devo and LaserDisc go hand in hand because they did all those advertisements for Pioneer LaserDisc, and tons of those little kind of blipverts are on here in between tracks. Them putting the ice cream on the LaserDisc, and
I love that.
so great. And then they have those weird like kind of mutated eye hat pieces they're wearing, and they've got this crazy hair sticking up, and telling you about LaserDisc. So it's got all that, and then it's got all the videos up until I think maybe Disco Dancer. I think might have been one of the last ones from their does it have anything for Smooth Noodle Maps? I don't know if it does, but anyways, total Devo period, I think it goes up to lots of great stuff, and then lots of still like all their like t-shirts and lots of advertisements and promo stuff, lots of still frame stuff on the second side. So great stuff. And it's got the little clip from Human Highway, which is awesome, with Lorraine Newman. And yeah, I mean, if you're a devotee like myself, you're gonna want to get that. And that's it for new stuff. Moving on to Ryan.
Cool. Devo disc is awesome.
Yeah, I don't know why I never bought it before now.
Yeah, everybody should pick that up if they're a Devo fan. It's
Yeah.
worth it. So I got a few things. We'll start it off with a nice Hong Kong Eric Estrada
Oh my God.
Night of the Wild.
There's only like a Hong Kong and a Singapore version. There's no US release. I would have thought he had enough pull to get a US release, but
Man, we can't even read the catchphrses. They're
Yeah,
all
I was about to say. I was like,
there are no catchphrases on this one, but I'll make up for it. I promise.
all right.
We got a nice Jack Scalia
Whoa.
Singapore release.
Whoa.
T-Force.
T-Force, yes.
A nightmare with a badge. Created to obey. Traxcalia is T-Force.
Yeah, really, really cool ridiculousness.
Whoa.
Like, I mean, you're
Wow.
looking at this. This
Whoa.
is just checking all the boxes. So
That is incredible.
really, really.
Do we know what the T stands for? Is it just like Tony Force or Thunder Force or
Who knows? I'll find out maybe. Or
They
maybe
play
we don't.
T-ball until it explodes.
exactly? It's like super dangerous T-ball.
Got a nice Singapore Ice Runner.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Victor Wong. Okay.
I had no idea. It looked cool.
Hell yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
really cool looking.
If it's got Egg
Sometimes
Shen
it
in it,
pays to run on the ice.
I'm making up my own ones now.
I know. I'm like, I don't think that was on there. This is a U.S. release that came from Indonesia because that's how you get U.S. releases now.
is that like a how-to video? Train to Fight? It's just like
No, it's
how to train
just
you.
a shitty fighting movie.
Oh.
That's I mean, it's got a nice
His
fight.
last chance to win back his honor. Oh, just wait. This movie is called Train to Fight, so no, he has no honor.
So really, I mean, it's an Image Entertainment release.
I was gonna say I saw it.
Nice, Quiet Fire.
Ooh. It's amazing. I like this one.
When
No,
you
that-
kill a man,
Wow.
make sure he's dead. Otherwise, why'd you kill him in the first place?
So like this one came from Indonesia. It looks almost like a U.S. release.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was at
Yeah.
first, but
I
yeah.
can't like find anything that would indicate that it is.
Wow.
Sounds great.
Got Survivor here.
Oh.
Hmm.
All right.
Richard Mall.
Yep.
If it's Image, it must be Rotarian.
That's right.
It's Image and Vestron.
Wow. Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Double.
You
Double
got the
dipping.
special image, just the LaserDisc drawing on one side.
I
not-
love that.
yeah,
That's my
yeah,
favorite.
not spread across.
And then another Image release.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Don the
Great.
Dragon.
Don the Dragon Wilson is back. The only place for a real showdown is, of course, in the Ring of Fire.
So this one had to come from Indonesia because it does not pop up here.
Yeah.
Really, really
There's,
cool.
there's a lot of Don fans over there, aren't there?
I think everybody's a Don fan.
Yeah.
But you can't have Ring of Fire without Ring of Fire 2, Blood and Steel from Hong Kong. It's got the nice city obi,
Oh yeah.
which is rare on some of those releases, but
This
Really,
is
really cool.
amazing.
Wow.
and
Wow.
then I finally had some luck from Germany. Bill and I had ordered something. It goes back to like I want to say November-ish.
Wow.
And we ordered it and it just like it got to like customs and died, and I had totally forgotten what I ordered by the time it finally came around like a week ago. And him and I were chatting and he's like, it's shipped, it's here, it's coming, like it's in the US. Like, and I'm like, well, what did I get? Like, you know, it was one of those things. It was just like 4 discs. It wasn't like a huge deal. And like the guy's a good seller. We know who he is. We've got stuff from him before, so it wasn't like a concern. We were just trying to avoid having to open like a customs claim or anything else because it's just a hassle for everybody. But I got a couple of cool things. I finally got a copy of Return to Horror High,
Cool.
another Image Entertainment release.
That one's really good.
Yeah, is it good?
Yeah, it's really
I've
good.
never seen it.
Oh, it's a fun watch. It's like definitely a high school film, but like it's like a movie, like they're like making a movie within a movie kind of one. It
Nice.
has that vibe to it. It's good.
And then I got Midnight Fear with David Carradine.
Wow.
Hmm.
That is incredible. I'm loving this one.
Sometimes the mask of innocence hides the face of terror. David Carradine in Midnight Fear.
And of course, it's Image Entertainment, so it
Okay.
has to.
Rhino.
Hey, it's
New
Rhino
line?
too.
Oh,
Wow.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. And then got a really nice gem here.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Got, Firepower with Gary
Full
Daniels
Chad.
and Chad McQueen.
Yeah,
Of course,
baby.
Chad McQueen. He's so
Gary
good.
Daniels and Chad McQueen in a mind-blowing trip to hell. Firepower.
And then it's got Jim Hellwig, which if you know who Jim Hellwig is, it's a pretty big deal because
I mean, he's one of the best Hellwigs I know. Yeah.
you might see him there.
Wow,
It
look
might
at
look
those.
familiar.
Is that Ultimate Warrior?
Yeah.
Oh my
This
gosh.
is the only movie he was in, and so
What?
that's why this one is like, or at least on LaserDisc. He might have been in something else, but this is the one to like find. So that's why this one's really hard to find.
Man.
It's sealed.
Yeah, look brand new.
God.
Looks a little sun faded. Is that just the artwork or?
I think it's just the lighting. I
Oh yeah, probably.
think the
yeah.
artwork it's not sun faded. So,
All right, good.
This has been sitting in a blockbuster for 35
Exactly.
years.
and then I got
Ooh.
a Japanese
Whoa.
horror release, Schizoid.
This
Nice.
is
So-
sick.
No Obi, but I mean,
MGM Rainbow. That's
Yeah.
super
Ooh.
early.
I know it looks so domestic until you flip it.
Yeah.
what's
It's a
Oh,
cannon.
some
Ah.
cannon.
oh, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So this was back when like MGM would like distribute them. So
That's so
really,
sick.
really early. And then a couple more. I got three
All
more.
right, all right.
My only like
Oh, good film.
Ah,
Yeah.
Hey.
Him and
So-
Sammo Hung.
Yeah, I've been wanting this. I've been picking up all the they're like the Tai Sang releases, so they're dubbed or subbed, which is
Oh.
great.
Yep.
Like I don't know why people chase down the Japanese ones because it's in languages you don't understand them.
Yeah.
Whereas at least this has a subtitle or sometimes a dub. Either way, like I'd rather watch it in the original like dialect, and usually these are pretty much uncut. So
Yeah, it's
Looking
it's
forward.
also like sappy melodrama, but then all of a sudden, like gang fights on the outskirts of town, and
oh yeah,
Good
they're very
stuff.
consistent with their plot flow.
yeah,
And then I got one I haven't gotten a chance to pop in yet. You guys might have heard of this movie.
Wow.
Ah.
that's the $250 one, right? Or how much was it?
It was not that. Trust me. So little bit aware
Okay,
on the bottom,
yep.
but I didn't care. Like I'd been looking for this for a while, and this got me to I think 87. So I haven't been like purposely going out of my way, but when I pick them up for the right price, I've been slowly incrementing up. So I was really, really happy to get that. And then one more.
All right.
You got it.
This one's a little heavy.
Oh,
Oh.
more
This is-
Transformers,
Oh,
huh?
no.
The Transformers Cybertron box.
Hmm.
So this is the first, I believe, 36 episodes.
Wow.
Japanese release. These things are ginormous. So they have all of these are something special. And the reason why is because not only as I like fight to get this open,
Yeah, good luck.
is it gatefolds? Like it's
Ooh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it's like the
but-
Gundam box did that too.
Yeah.
I like that.
You got the
Oh,
discs.
wow.
They're like full art on everything.
Sick.
And they also include a program.
Oh,
And this
sick.
is
Wow.
just like toy schematics. Like they're like, these are just really to sell the toys.
Yeah, the packaging
Yeah.
is like the discs and the box are like the original toys.
Yeah. So like it's just like a complete tribute to everything. And then on top of that, let me find the right one, maybe. I don't know.
You can do it.
Oh, there it is. It's right in front of me. You have the last one that's a CD. So
Oh.
there's
Oh.
a disc of bonus like sounds and audio sequences, I believe. I haven't even listened to it of the original like 36 episodes. So
Is there just like a little CD, like a 5-inch CD slapped in a giant jacket?
yeah, pretty much. Let's see. I believe this one had it.
Yeah.
I haven't even gotten a chance to play it, but I believe it was in there.
Take that, Disney big sleeves.
Literally.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Love
So, like,
that.
and the crazy thing is like they never come with the CDs because people would take them out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
not put them back.
Yeah.
Because like it's so ridiculous.
That's hilarious.
It's amazing.
So they pull out that like whole jacket and then it never get back with the rest of it
Yeah.
because it came loose. And so they're just really, really cool. They're super well done. And even the inside is like immaculate.
Wow.
So
Wow. That is impressive.
yeah,
that's
they-
super
they-
cool.
these are sought after by not only LaserDisc people, but obviously the toy collectors.
Sure, yeah.
It's such a tribute to like the entire like thing, and I was really thrilled. I'd never seen one come up before. Snagged it, and it was complete and perfect. And I'm
Just
really
like you.
really close to being Transformers complete now. I'm inching there. Like it's been a slog because they literally come up, and if you don't get them, you may never see them again. And I've been looking for years for this, and I've seen it once now. So
Wow.
so yeah, that's it for me. How about you, Max?
Oh, that's all.
Yeah.
What about Spencer?
Well, let
Oh,
Max
sorry.
go first. I realized I didn't pull mine. They're over
Oh,
here.
get
so
some
I grab
stuff.
them. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
right. Did you get anything, Max?
So everything's in the mail because I had
Oh,
address change. So.
Oh. Hopefully you don't lose anything. That sucks.
Oh my gosh, I know. I have so many cool things from Japan coming, and like I was holding off on some of those, and then I have
Yeah.
some things that are coming from the Flea Bay that it should be address changed to my new place.
Oh man, that's always a nightmare. Trying to
that's nerve-wracking.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, the Japan stuff I just held that back because I'm like,
Smart.
okay, I'll just wait.
Yeah.
And I'll just ship it when I get to my place. Like, but I do have something to show that is a pickup, but it's not a LaserDisc pickup, so I'll show it.
Oh yeah, for the next
it's
segment.
it's
yeah.
LaserDisc adjacent though. So
Okay.
it's cool. I think you'll like it.
All right. That sounds cool.
Are we going to talk to
We'll wait for
Spencer?
Spencer though.
All right, so I did my latest video, so I pretty much went over everything. So I just cherry picked
Yeah.
one or two.
All right, cool.
But other than that, I did have one disc come in that I was not expecting and was super, super cool. So I haven't got to toss this in yet. This is another one that came from the Broterian offices. So this was
Oh,
totally
no.
unexpected. No, it is not a Taiwanese softcore karaoke.
Softcore karaoke.
I mean, I have volume 10 now. I'm
Yep.
just like,
Now you need the others, right?
yeah, okay. I did not expect. So I expected it to be volume 11 or something else like that. But then I opened the box, and then I see this person staring out, and I'm like, what? So this just turned up. This is
Oh,
the
yes.
Hollywood Legend 2 Grace Kelly disc, and it's part of a line of discs they did of the various stars. And I'm not sure. I guess this is like a mixture of trailer compilation and documentary. I'm guessing.
How cool is that jacket art, though?
Oh gosh,
Great.
and they've got one for Marilyn Monroe, of course. They've got
Yeah.
one for Steve McQueen. I've looked it up. There's a number of these, and they look really stunning. So I'm just like frameable. You know?
Yeah.
Hold the disc out.
Totally.
That's
Look at the
awesome.
disc.
Uh-oh. There's probably secret stuff inside.
The insert or
No, like look at the disc itself. Maybe flip it over.
Has it got like
The
pit art
total-
on it?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's got that
yeah.
sweet pattern.
whoa.
Yeah. Like it's just random. I don't see that on discs. Like
Yeah.
I had not slipped this out yet. I just oh my gosh. Look at this.
That's a trip.
yeah.
Like forget oh my vinyl has etching on side 3. Look at that.
Yeah.
Like
These are pit
whoa.
art.
Wow.
That is
Yeah,
cool.
I have never seen that before on a disc ever. Wow.
Yeah, no flippy on there. Unless there's a very little bit of information at the beginning, maybe.
Well, it is
Yeah.
single-sided, of course. So I guess it's like super crazy flippy on that side.
Club
So
mix.
yeah, the insert
Club
and-
mix flippy.
yes. The insert is fantastic, and the way it's
Oh,
broken
yeah?
down, it's got her entire career highlights. Of course, it's all not in English.
Sure.
So the way this is laid out, I'm pretty sure this is probably like mostly trailer compilation. I'm guessing because that would be primarily what people would do back then. Because of course, pre-internet, discs like this
Yeah.
were freaking awesome. But yeah, this thing is just gorgeous. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
that
awesome.
combined with the awesome side, I'm like, wow. So thank you, Broterian. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Like it was one of those things that like had zero appeal to me other than the shiny disc, and I have enough shiny things that I
Well, let's clarify for a moment.
Yeah.
You're saying like hang on. Like even if you're not old man me, I mean, it's Grace Kelly. I mean,
Come on.
geez, like, are you not alive? Like,
1% appeal at least. Come on.
like, I don't even know what I guess I first saw her in Rear Window when I first saw it as a
same
kid.
here, probably.
And it was just like stop the movie, the way she enters in that and that gown. I mean, my God, I was like 5 at the time, and I was just like,
I think the last time I saw it on 35 at the Repertory Theater, we walked out with my dad, and he was like, "Oh my God, Grace Kelly!" And Mom's like, "Come on, get your act together, buddy."
The movie was a nail biter, but wow, gosh, especially if you get was that the 2000 dye transfer restoration?
It must have been. It was right around then. So yeah.
Oh gosh, those things. Like, I mean, the Blu-ray was good, the 4K is even better, but seeing that thing for real, man, that's beautiful. And of course, talking about that, I did pick up some more of the Japanese Hitchcock titles. Nice. I wouldn't have these in my video, but just wanted to spotlight them. Luke sent me these. I'm so happy to chip away at some more of these because I loved the cover, but I thought they were all analog only. But then when I started finding some had late digital sound pressings, like I found that Vertigo disc, and I was like, what? So he had the birds, and he gave me Rebecca as well. So I'm like, oh my God, which also means now I have another pressing of Rebecca to compare, because I didn't have enough Rebeccas, which the Rebecca will reappear in the next category, ironically enough. So then just some of the local stuff that popped up. This was the most surprising of the local stuff that popped up. And this was 95 cents at McKay's. And it was one of those, like, am I dreaming? Because I know this thing is stupid rare. This is super late release. It's the 1980 picture. It's one of Steve McQueen's last films. This is Tom Horn. This is late release, Warner Brothers, letterbox, glossy jacket, super late release, and stupid rare.
Yeah, never seen that.
I remember seeing this on the LDDB once. And then when I saw this in the store, I'm like, wait a minute. Isn't this like super crazy late release? It's a Warner's jacket, no creasing, no seam splits, nothing. It is immaculate. And it's got that nice glossy coating on it. And I'm like, okay, I'm buying this anyway, but I swear this is like stupid late release territory. And I quickly, because it's a bin on the floor at the end of an aisle. It's a cubby hole, literally right in front of the checkout counter. So people are walking and I'm just like this. And I have a mask. I have masks on and my glasses are fogging over, but I'm like, I gotta see, I swear this is the one. I look and I'm like, trip was worth it. So it's been it's very sporadic there. Wait, aha! Yes.
Oh, snap!
It's right here. I was like, Tom Horns. I swear I just saw that. I know there's another Tom Horn here.
That is too cool.
That makes 2 now. I've never seen this before, I should have known it was in the real Laserland. Oh man! Yes. But yeah, if anybody ever sees that is stupid late release rare territory. And then I guess just to go over 1 or 2 more, I picked up a number of discs from the LaserDisc Museum, which if you've ever been on the group, they do tons of posts and all these crazy sales. And usually it's tons of, as everybody refers to it, Spencer discs.
Or old man discs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they do flip videos and I'm like, and I just write notes. I'm like, need that. Need that. Oh.
Then you have to pare it down.
Yeah. And I did. And then like a week later, after I ordered a bunch from them, because they were selling them for like $1 or $2 with like super cheap shipping. And I'm like, my weakness. So then they post another sale video and I see it like 2 days later because the way the algorithm puts it. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'll write to them about some of these because nobody else will want them. They're like, oh, they all sold. And I'm like, and then there was a post of some guy saying, hey, I drove like 6 hours and I bought like 800 LDs, never heard of any of these. And every single one I'd written down was in those titles. They had gone there and bought all of them. And it was nothing but, classic Hollywood in super minty shape. And I'm just like, oh, geez, like I would have done that. They didn't say come buy all of it. I didn't need to do it, but I would have done it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I guess I don't know if that was all they had left over because it was a ton. But randomly in the last sale they did before that, they had a number of discs that had very suspicious markings on the covers that looked very interesting. So I bought a open matte disc.
Oh no.
Yes, because it is. I say open matte because it is. It
I know what
actually
you're
is
I know what you're talking about.
This was in my last video, but I was just like, that looks suspiciously like an autograph. So yeah, this is a movie with not a super great reputation, but there is some cool stuff in it. That's Leap of Faith. And if you look here very closely, this is what I noticed, and it does look very suspiciously like Steve Martin's autograph on here. I looked at other things on eBay, and it is pretty much identical. Of course, it's not authenticated, but I'm pretty sure that is Mr. Steve's autograph there. And I really love seeing him do dramatic stuff, like all the great comedians. I think comedians are really great when they just do, straight dramas, and Steve Martin especially. And he's also done really interesting writing and like his darker films like Novocaine. And of course, The Jerk is great. And but my actually, hang on one second. I think I've got it here on my disc. I have my Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid button.
Oh, cool.
Little focus.
I saw in a double feature with a sneak preview of E.T. because kids love Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid.
Yeah, I would have been the kid who said, "Can we see Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid again? I don't care about E.T."
I loved it. I had no idea what was going on for the most part or what it was referencing at that point, but I thought it was great.
I saw it probably about 7 or 8. It just popped up once, and at first I thought it was, classical noir because
legitimate.
It was made as such. And of course, seeing it on an old CRT in 4:3, that you automatically, exactly. And then Steve Martin shows up, and I'm like, wait a minute. And then it was like, oh, they love this stuff too. It's not just me. Okay. Because, as a kid, nobody liked black and white except me, like I would sneak up and watch TCM on school nights when I wasn't supposed to. I'd sneak up because I'd see they were going to run Night of the Hunter on the schedule, or they were going to run, Force of Evil or Touch of Evil, all these different things I saw for the first time because it was going to be TCM Wednesday night at 2:00 in the morning, and that was the only show time. And so I would look around, I would sneak and
get the green light our Young Spencer
and
TV
just like
show.
sit there, because the VCR timer probably wouldn't work, and I would tape stuff. So so this was just
that's awesome.
It's got some interesting stuff in here. He's a con man, but then it turns into like a Lifetime movie halfway through because different producing interests had different ideas, and they were like, it needs to be a family picture.
Sure.
So it starts like it's Elmer Gantry, but then it turns into a Lifetime movie. That's the best way to describe this, but Steve's great in it.
Nice. And
then just to round it off, because I'm obsessed with this movie, and this came from the Bro offices and finally makes the LaserDisc entry for this film because I have it on every other format. It's Ronin. My favorite film of the past 30 years, hands down, no contest, masterpiece, just fantastic for spy nerds, essential for Frankenheimer devotees like myself, who worship at the feet of Frankenheimer. Like
I even like his Island to Dr. Moreau. So
it's got stuff in there. That picture was cursed to begin with.
It was.
But everybody knows I love this film. The Ronin versus Heat debate that always pops up for some reason. I don't know why.
I guess the De Niro aspect.
And of course, I'm the one crazy guy who goes so far to say this is my favorite De Niro performance, period. Like, wow. There's just so much to dig into here. And if you're a spy nerd like myself, it's great on steroids, and all the dialogue is David Mamet. Oh my God. It's just, it's fantastic. So the transfer on this thing, it's as good as I ever thought it would be. It's late release, so it doesn't pop up all the time. And so usually when it does, this is usually kind of pricey just because. And then the DTS one is stupid expensive. And but Ryan beat me to that one, but then very, very graciously sent me his AC3 one. So now I have it on LaserDisc to go with my VHS, my DVD, my open matte DVD, my special edition 2-disc DVD, my Blu-ray, and my Arrow 4K with slipcover.
Which was a ridiculous Hamilton book deal for so long.
Yes,
they had that for like $4.95 or something.
Yeah, I know. After I bought it, I had it pre-ordered. It's like one of the only movies I've ever pre-ordered. And then when it came out, I wrote Arrow like a super geeky email, you know, I like
Dear Arrow.
No, and they actually answered me. They were
That's
cool
awesome.
about it because I was like, "Oh, did you guys look at the CCE prints that they did because they had CCE prints?" And they're like, "Yeah, actually, we did look at some of those with the cinematographer, and we did a balance." And then I'm like, "So, and the 2.0 mix, is that the original Dolby SR?" You know, and they're like, "Actually, yes,
Yes, it
like,
is."
I'm like, thank you. And they were just like stunned that and I'm like, yeah, I like this movie a
Someone's
lot.
paying attention. Yeah.
like I've always wondered, so what does the CCE print look like? Would that differentiate from the standard 1998 release print? I wonder what would the visual correlation be, because Frankenheimer used CCE on his television productions early, you know. Yeah, I'm that guy.
Yeah,
I go to bed at night and I'm thinking this stuff. So
I like it.
So yeah, that's some of that, just random store finds, some of the stuff, again, mostly covered in my latest videos, but I just cherry picked a few.
Yeah, we were just watching one of your videos. In fact, we're probably in the live chat replay if you have that available. So
Yes.
fun stuff. All right, so I think I don't know. What do you think, Ryan? Should we kill the mailbag? Because I got so many like Peter centric things in here. Do you want to just go into hot topics?
Let's go for it. Let's like we don't.
Yeah. Let's do some hot topics, everybody. We got a lot of interesting things that have been going on in the LaserDisc community, the collecting world, and I know Ryan's got a few things he wants to get off his chest, in particular involving some terminology that gets thrown around a lot. But what's your grail, Ryan?
Well, my holy grail. Now, like, when did they go from grail to holy? Like, it's like been every day somebody's like, oh, this is my holy grail, and then the next day, this is my holy grail. You can't have a holy grail every day, or they're not holy grails. They're just nice discs. Like, if I can go to eBay and buy it for like $75, it's not a holy grail. It's just something you want. Like, I mean, if you can't find it anywhere and you have one, now we're talking. Like, that's a little special. But man, they're just throwing it around, and it's unless you're Spencer holding up your copy of Cross Mission, it's not the holiest of grails. Like, so yeah, like I think it's just gone into overdrive. And
well, like I was saying earlier to you, privately, like I think what I thought of as like my own personal holy grails before I started getting into the whole Facebook community and all that and doing the channel was, I mean, things I didn't really know I could access them that easily. I mean, 10 years ago, like Fight Club was a legitimate, grail of mine. I thought, I'm never going to get it. I'll never own a copy of it. Same with, The World Is Not Enough. So, which we're still going to get a copy for Spencer at some point. Somehow with our fundraiser.
I hear the word grail and I'm like, World's Not Enough Japan.
Yeah. Like, done.
Like I have two grails. That is the one, and then the other is in total unobtainable territory, which is the Speed Racer Japanese box.
Ooh,
because that appears like once every 5 years, and then it's like, oh yeah, I got this thing, I'll take $350 for it.
Yeah,
I'm
who
like,
just got that recently?
I can't
Somebody
do it.
got that.
Somebody posted it. I literally asked on the group, hey, does anybody have one of these? I'm just curious what the quality's like. Is it worth going after? And then somebody was just like, oh yeah, it was a separate post. They just said, anybody interested in this? I have this for sale, PM me. And I'm like, did you not see my post?
That's probably why they did. Like, maybe we can trick them. Like,
yeah, and they were they at least gave me some quality report and stuff, but I had just missed a Japanese auction. I got outbid, but it went for like it only went for like 200, but then of course add in the shipping and the export and everything, and then they wanted like 3 something, which was reasonable for one of those, but I didn't have that sitting around, and I try not to go too crazy with my LD spending, so I'm like, it's just I can wait.
Hey Spencer, do you have both kidneys or?
Yeah, you don't need them both.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm saying.
Oh, so that's how you get all this Taiwanese.
I need both of mine, but you might not.
Do you have any grails, Max? Is there anything you need still?
Oh my goodness. Let me just consult the list.
I mean, you've got like legitimate, like some rare artifacts that you've picked up.
I have totally weird like things that are on my like wish list. Just like, well, I'm still looking for Girls Just Want to Have Fun that is not a see-through disc, because I'd like that
as playable.
Yes, playable would be nice.
Yep.
Say,
Oh,
Oh no, I lost you.
Oh,
Come back.
we have
The
lost
aliens
her.
got to her.
She was going to give up her secrets. And
Yeah.
They
the
shut it down.
LaserDisc Illuminati had just like.
She
jumped
said
on it.
she wants girls who want to have fun unrotted, you know, and then
Yeah.
just like, nope, not allowed.
We all know about that one. So
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll get some Max back. But I think as everyone starts kind of getting more and more into LD, and the prices are going to get higher and higher, so it's going to grailify more discs, Ryan. So you're going to hear a lot more.
Speed is my
more grail
grail.
talk. Exactly.
I couldn't find cruise control for 3 years.
It's my grail.
Well, I mean, if you're looking in stores and you're not like super into the collecting community, then yeah, it could be, you know, like because Speed 2 doesn't pop up all the time. It is later on. It's 97, 98. Phenomenal pressing. But, you know, I just bought it because I finally saw one. Just it had never appeared before. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
But,
I don't have it for the same reason.
And then you proceeded to watch it and realize why you've never seen one.
Well,
I still haven't
it's not
seen it.
that bad, actually.
Oh,
Like
come
I
on.
was
It's
like,
got Jason Patrick, right?
it's not terrible. It's got Willem Dafoe. It's got a nice AC3 track and that picture transfer. Wow. That thing is like, again, that's top tier.
But the movie is just, it's not good.
Oh,
Mr. Cross Mission over here.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was
Yeah, but
oh.
like, I mean, Cross Mission is a different genre in its own. Like,
It's no Ring of Fire too.
I mean, it might be. Well, we're gonna have to find out. But you know,
When you read the Roger Ebert review of Speed 2, it makes sense. It's not the worst thing in the world. And I heard for years it was so terrible. And then I sat down and watched the LD and I'm like, here we go. This is going to be horrible. And I'm like, well, I mean,
It's still a movie.
It's
Yeah.
bland. It has a lot of dumb stuff, but you know, Willem Dafoe sticks leeches on himself and makes some awesome crazy faces. You know,
Oh,
I mean,
do you see that? Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, every Willem Dafoe movie.
Yeah, but the leeches is a new.
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, it's not. I love how this has become a Speed 2 discussion.
Yeah. Well, we wait for Max to return. Speed
Yeah.
2
Well, we are talking about rails
in
so
depth. Yeah.
Yeah.
the holiest.
What else was good in the there was the I was hoping Peter was going to be on because the exciting HDMI chain thing happened this week where a gentleman tried to pull stereo RCA jacks from a player and then put that into an HDMI, like in one of those AV to HDMI converters, basically turned everything to HDMI and then got an HDMI decoder that would take the audio and spit it out into 6 RCA multi-input jacks. But he already had a sweet Yamaha receiver, which has ostensibly Dolby Pro Logic already. And so he was excited that he had discovered AC3. So yes, word to the wise, if you don't have an AC3 RF out, you don't get AC3. And
Yes.
then if you don't have a digital out, you don't get DTS either. So there's the schematic. Good job, Ryan.
I figured I'd draw it for everybody trying to follow along at home and insert any devices in the middle.
AC3, it's so weird though, because I mean, the fact that it has those great PCM tracks on it already, I know a lot of people that get fooled into thinking that they're somehow hearing their player doing a mix down or playing the AC3 track and doing something with it so they can still hear it. I'm like, no, you're just hearing the PCM track, which is great, but
Yeah. And some films were originally that they were SR and they didn't get AC3 and AC3 is just spipped up or a remix.
sure. Yeah, I know it's not always a slam dunk. So
Like Pulp Fiction is that way.
yeah,
All
I
you see
know.
is 5.1 now. And it's like, well, I like my Criterion box because technically that's the original mix because it was a low budget indie film. It was early Miramax.
Yep.
You know, it is technically 2.0 SR. And I to be a stickler, I like original audio tracks. So, if I see an 80s movie, I want to see the Dolby SR. I don't want 5.1 because remixing into that is easy from 2.0 Matrix, but the amount of stuff that goes wrong and the stuff they remix and the stuff they change, it does change a lot.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction's always been one of mine too. Whereas, no offense, Ryan's got that sweet DTS reissue, but
I
I
want to hear it. Like,
it's I've always just enjoyed the original SR. Ooh, do we have a
I think
visitor?
Max is back.
Ah,
We'll see.
Let's let her
Someone knocking on the Wolfpack door.
in. Who is it?
Oh,
Let's see what we got.
Is that the land shark?
Land shark. Candygram. Do we have the return of Max?
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
no.
Maybe. No. Oh, we're so close.
Oh no.
No.
Oh, there we
I
go.
see you.
Ah,
I hear you.
Oh my God, my internet is unstable.
What else? Yeah, I know all my hot topics are like Peter centric, and of course he ghosted us. So
Well, we were going to talk about it last time, but we didn't get a chance. That
What do you got?
stupid disc rot fear porn article
oh,
that keeps coming up. It's like all your laser discs are dying.
And here's why that matters.
Yeah, and it's like, well, no, not really. Like the same ones that died 30 years ago, still dead, and the rest are just trucking along. Like we may hit that point, but that article is like such like a fear mongering. Like even my Indonesian guy like sent it to me. I'm like, no, don't believe it. Like,
Don't worry about it.
just
Yeah.
keep finding me cool shit. Like, it's cool. Like,
yeah. I want to reply to that guy and be like, I have more rotted DVDs than I have LDs.
I was gonna say Warner
Like, my
DVDs from
Warner
that period.
DVDs are fried. I have
Yeah.
like 75 that are shot
Yeah.
and irreplaceable because they're out of print and they're not in the MOD line. And I'm still waiting at that because COVID happened. They're like, we'll get to you at some point, but all we can do, you mail us your DVDs that are dead, and we'll mail you an MOD copy, which means it has the printed on cover, which isn't as good, and it's a DVD-R. But all the ones that are out of print, you're out of luck. And I'm like, do you know how much the Tarzan Volume 2 is now?
Yeah,
It's like $125, and one disc is shot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh.
So rude.
Yeah, me and Bill were going
yeah.
through our Tales from the Crypt sets and kind of figuring out what was good and what was bad. And
Oh, I scanned every single Warner disc from 2006 to
Yeah.
2000. I went to 2010,
yeah.
and because
Ooh.
like MGM is most of my LDs, and of course that went into the Warner library, so most of my DVDs are Warner Brothers, so that was a lot.
Yeah, that's
Like-
rough.
Like, and I was like, is this 2007? Is this no? This is 2005. It's okay, but I should check it anyway. Oh gosh. And I was like, okay, it's not too bad. Okay. Let me try my noir boxes. Oh no. Especially the double feature discs. So the Forbidden Hollywood Volume 1 gone. Several discs in my Noir Volume 4 set, which is one of the hardest to get. That's long out of print, and all of them are double feature DVDs gone. And I'm like, oh geez. So and it's apparently one plant they used.
Yep.
I think they said it was a Canadian plant actually.
Yeah,
And I don't know if
ironically,
it's
if you
the
have the
same one that
Mexican discs,
Criterion
they're
used.
better.
Blame Canada.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's Canada.
And I think if I remember correctly, when Criterion Blu-rays had that problem,
The
it was a
bronzing.
Canadian plant,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
So it may have been the same one.
I probably need to check mine again because I have a few of those candidates like Benjamin Button and I think Yojimbo and a few of those others
Yeah.
that I have done that period where they're like, it might
And
work.
I got to mention this because speaking of Criterion, here's a real hot topic. They just had their flash sale, which I usually don't buy stuff. And so I bought one or two I needed. And then like 2 days later, all their Paramount titles are out of print. And I'm like,
no.
why didn't you tell us?
Yeah, at least Screen Factory tells you.
I almost bought Rosemary's Baby that time because I'm like, I haven't gotten this yet. Now it's out of print and it's like
Ooh.
$250. And I'm like,
Yeah, the market instantly adjusts. They know.
they knew before it even happened. Like
Yeah.
I saw like page 17 of a Blu-ray forum thread and I'm like, what? And I'm like scrolling back through and it's all in the same day. And
Mm.
it's everybody going, it's out of print. What happened? Oh no. And they're like theorizing all the other ones that are going to go. And I'm
Oof.
like, but they just had their flash sale. It was in my cart and I'm like, oh no, why didn't I do it? Why? How would I have known?
There's always something. But yeah, rot in general. It's funny how many people are just kind of bewildered by it in the Laserdisc community. It's like, there's the guys like, I collect it. It's a myth. Like I collect thousands of discs and I've never seen this rot. And I'm like,
You
it's
seen
really,
the professional?
yeah, exactly. It's really not that mysterious.
But yes,
you go-
you've never
You
actually
research
seen it
it.
on the disc because it's not visible. Like,
If you
Yeah.
go to a swap meet, I can pull out a couple discs and we'll find you some rot in about 3 minutes.
Here's Air Force One.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, here's Lost Highway. It's really great in rot vision.
Yeah, let's try
it's
this out.
Lynch on steroids with rot because rot is unpredictable.
Yeah.
It-
And of course, Spencer knows I kind of love those discs now because I know what they are going into them. And then I'm like, I might win roulette. This might be a nice, fun,
Oh, I
clean
like-
copy that I get for free or $1 or something. So it's kind of, I don't know. I enjoyed those.
I play the Is It DADC Austria. Like
That's
I
such a
scam
delight.
for those. I have bought so many in the past year that I just randomly find. I'm like, Legends of the Fall. This couldn't buy. Oh my God, it's Austria. Yes, in the cart. And I just did that with the Remains of the Day. I'm like, I know this is it's a nice clean copy. It's not beat up, but I mean, this is a super rotter, you know. And I'm like, wait a minute, let me just slip that disc out.
Yeah.
It couldn't possibly be. And I see it on the ring, and I'm like, yes. And then people are staring at me. I'm like, it's DADC Austria, man. No
did that
rods.
At a flea market with Age of Innocence. I'm like, yeah, at my car, looking in the trunk. Yeah, like I just won the $4 lottery. Yep.
No one
Love it.
understands.
But yeah, I mean,
it's the best.
rot's not that mysterious. And I'm not worried about the stuff that I have rotting. I haven't run into any real issues, and I tend to watch my stuff on a fairly regular basis. I'm not running into issues with LaserDisc degrading on me.
No.
When I used to buy them in the 90s, yeah, because the Professional I bought, obviously from Suncoast when it came out that weekend, and within 2 years it was rotted. So
Every time I watch it, it seems like something is missing.
exactly, yeah, like the whole finale.
I think it's like a super edited export version. It's like
Yeah.
custom to the LaserDisc. It's like 40 minutes shorter.
Yeah, there's really no dramatic conclusion at all.
Yeah,
You
like,
never know what happens with Stanfield. You just kind of
There's no guns in this movie all of
yeah,
a
there's
sudden.
no fights.
I remember there were
it was
like a
on
lot
Disney
of guns.
Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. What else is more smear stuff. There was a lot of smear uproar because one guy posted all Pioneer models have the smear effect, which kind of turned into a little bit of a furor there. So what players smear the worst?
It's the S9.
S9 is the worst smear that I've ever seen. Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. It is funny though, because when you don't look for it, you don't notice it. So there's a lot of people that do have smeary players. They're like, well, I've never seen it. And they probably have never seen it. But
Yeah.
once you see it,
be unseen.
it cannot be unseen. Exactly.
Well, if you haven't used Video Essentials and you're stretching your image into Taffy Vision, you might not
Yeah.
see it.
It's true. And if your black levels are juiced up a little bit too high. Yeah. So watch Alien, watch the opening titles. And once that A pops up and all that stuff, if you see a smeary kind of grayish, whitish kind of stream to the right of that, you've got the smear. But then again, there's some TVs that do it as well. I had a Sony RP TV that had smear on its own because must have been the power supply wasn't up to snuff or whatever. So
I was just gonna say
Yeah.
that is my one problem with my 960 that I did not know about until I got it, set it up, and dialed in and everything.
yeah,
And everybody just it's not smearing. It's something they did to combat the flicker. It has pretty significant phosphor lag.
oh,
So,
okay,
and you don't see it all the time. It's only on really so it's dark star fields especially.
yeah,
But very fast moving objects or fast pans, once you see it, and most people don't notice it, but me being me, like as soon as I put it in, I made the mistake of putting I would just put on a Blu-ray to have a Blu-ray on. So I put Michael Clayton on, which has all these really dark backgrounds.
sure, yeah,
And all these, and then as soon as George Clooney's face popped up, I was like, wait, that looks like PAL ghosting. What is going on? This thing is 300 pounds. I just looked this up before nothing. What is this? And I tried to read all these 2005 tech articles and forum posts. And I was like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's actually the phosphor. They had to time it in some weird way because otherwise they had all this flicker. So you kind of have to get used to it.
Yeah.
It's not major, and again, you don't see it all the time, but it is there, and you'll know it's there. But it's the one real drawback, because otherwise the black levels are so deep on this thing, and the
So it's worth
filter
it for
is
that,
awful.
yeah.
So you'll even see it if you're running Blu-ray or DVD, same thing, but
Yeah.
it seems more noticeable when you're running standard def than it is HD.
Yeah, that's why I used to, obviously I calibrate my players and whatever I'm watching, but I never really noticed the smear that much on the 704 and the CLD 99. until I got the S9, and then I saw the smear. And then when I went back to those players, I'm like, oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah. I did that when I got my 900 and it got rid of all the ringing. And I'm like, I didn't think I had that much CLV smear. And I went and I looked, and I don't use Alien. I actually found the really cool one is it's in Goldfinger, actually. In the pre-titles, as soon as you see the water, if you look, this little sailboat that's there, it's actually white.
Oh,
and the very front of it, when the camera pans right as you see the seagull prop on his head, if you look, you can see it smear the whole front of the boat. So the boat edge is where there's no boat. And it just literally, you see like this white ghosty extra like foot of boat that's not there because it's just like floating over this water because the smear is so bad.
Yeah. So there you go. And Peter says the X9 smears too. So I don't have an X9, but I can't confirm, but I don't know. R7G seems good.
But I watch Canon scans on my X9. So.
Yeah, yours have smear and all sorts of stuff baked right in.
You should. Have you ever done picture reviews of some of those? Like like the contrast on this one is really interesting. It seems to change every second.
Yeah, I mean, some of those scans must be high quality.
Bloodsport 2 by far. Like it looks like they like took the VHS tape that they bootlegged off of. I don't even know what they like took a little camcorder into a theater. I don't even know. Like it's just bad, and the audio is bad. Like it's by far the worst like LaserDisc I've ever watched in terms of just bad transfers. But it is what it is.
We should do a bad transfer show.
Actually, yeah, just talk about the worst transfers out there.
It's just Bloodsport 2. Well, I'll make everybody watch it. We should ship it across the country.
Just pass it around.
Yeah.
We should have an alternate pack where we just do bottom fives of
oh my God.
the reverse of everything. Bottom
the
five gangster films.
Worst rotters.
Exactly.
I believe Seth was working on that for Europe.
We'll have to get him back. And there was some LaserDisc appearances in popular culture. There was the Drew Barrymore LaserDisc reference. I don't know if anybody watched. David Letterman came on to, I guess it was her birthday or something, to surprise her. And apparently she used to try to get in his good graces by delivering him laser discs of like Cocteau's Beauty and the Beast. So she knew, that's the key for making some sort of new friendship. So I thought that was cool.
Criterion lasers.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. And then they immediately switched to talking about her flashing him on his show. Got into that a little bit more, but he didn't seem to even know what LaserDiscs were at first. She's like, I would bring you LaserDiscs. And he's like, oh, old movies. And our
Where's
buddy
Jimmy Fallon when you need him?
And our buddy Luke pointed out Seth Meyers made a LaserDisc reference about when you had the substitute teacher that was normally the field hockey coach, and he would make you watch Amadeus on LaserDisc, and he even did the blowing the dust off motion. So
I was never that lucky. It was always the random educational player in the art room, and you had to watch some weird educational LD that was like 20 minutes long, and it was either about art or science or something. And then it was
that's Maxeene or cooking.
yeah. And then the only other one was it was a dentist's office, same scenario, but it was an LD with something about like, we want to give you this dental surgery and this is what it looks like. Here, watch this video. And they just had a giant remote, and then suddenly I'm like, wait, is that a LaserDisc?
Yeah.
And it was one of the educational players, and it was literally like 5 minutes of a single CLV disc where it was just 5 minutes about like, this is a part of orthodontic surgery. And I'm like,
swear I have.
Probably.
I mean, I would love to have been that guy that was like the one traveling around the country trying to sell educational industrial players to dental offices. And that must have been fun.
Oh, yeah.
There were a lot at Disney World the first time I went. They were still using like 4400s and stuff. Like, I don't really care about the rides, but I look at like the little glimpses you can see of things, and I swear I saw like 6 different rides with industrial pioneer players, and I'm like, they still work. Yes.
Epcot must be loaded with like players. That must be all over that place.
Yeah, but
somewhere
they've gotten rid of most of the projection now.
Mechanic who just knew how to fix the players to keep it running.
That one dude.
There were 472 on site, and we kept another 27 in the back room that we always had ready to switch them out. And refurb them. Like
I'm picturing like Bill Murray from Caddyshack, but he's just the LaserDisc tech, just hanging out in his little cabin all night long, fixing players.
he's
I
got an
love
intern that like lifts and mounts the new or the fixed one. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta get these in.
new power unit.
We gotta get this up and running by morning. Good times. All right, well, let's transition into, unless somebody else has any burning laser issues. Is there anything? Yes.
No, but check out LaserDisc Forever for some wonderful memes. It's been really, really busy this past week, which has been great. Like everybody's been pitching in. So
Spencer and Ryan have been memeing each other now.
Yes.
yes.
Good
Once you
meme.
start, you can't stop.
Yep. You
I
open
think
the
yes.
can.
Seth even did a variation of the Eric Andre Hannibal Buress meme with the noob getting shot by asshole old hobbyists or whatever. So
Why is
that
this
one's been-
hobby dying?
yeah. Great stuff.
So
So yeah, go to LaserDisc Forever.
LAYZER.
For all your high quality posts.
That's how you spell it.
That's right. Yeah. So let's do some non-LD pickups. Let's get physical and see what you guys have been picking up. I didn't get too many Blu-rays and things like that, but I did get a little package in from our buddy Vinny, who thankfully he has been on this tear of tearing through the New Jersey and the Brooklyn area, just stealing DVDs from people because
Yes.
it's all the rage. You can get really nice cheap DVD sets. So I got the official Wu-Tang collection of Mystery of Chess Boxing. So great stuff. This came out from Arena Hong Kong collection Xenon video from 1999. So good, nice Wu-Tang like connection there. They even say when the hip hop band Wu-Tang Clan adapted the film for their music. So it's like official. And the one I was super excited about, we were kind of geeking out. Of course, Vinny's got connections to Polygram Video, but we were talking about the short series. And when DVD first dropped, they were really into doing like video magazines and trying to push the format and get a little bit more interactive. And these were great. I don't know, the funky designs because they have the slipcase and then this digipack inside. I've got the first two and this was the third, so I needed that. But it just keeps folding and unfolding, and then this little top piece folds up.
Wow.
And then there's just a normal like CD jewel case in there with the disc. So it's a trip, like all that packaging just for a little jewel case. But yeah, it's great. So he, I think I got him fired up on it a little bit, and he ended up getting a lot that had maybe an extra one that he didn't need. So he hooked me up with volume 3. So volume 2 and 1 are great. There's like a Henry Rollins spoken piece on those, and the original Sling Blade short film with Molly Ringwald and La Jetée is on there. Yeah, really good stuff. And the next one is my recommendation, so I'll save that for later. I did get a bunch of inner sleeves from my vinyl. So this, I didn't pick up this White Zombie. I've had this for ages, but it's got the inner sleeve that I had to show. I got these cool black ones, polylined black paper ones.
Fancy.
Biffy.
I figured I would get those for all my metal records.
Oh, hell yeah.
They're tougher. And of course, like that makes an impact on like AC/DC's Back in Black with the black inner sleeve. So
Yeah.
I got a big pack of those, and I got 100 white ones, and then they're back ordered immediately. So I'm like, come on. I was all excited to spend the entire night like filling up my
I'm so behind on
Films.
that. I need to just go in and order like, yes, can I have 10,000 inners and outers? Thank you.
Well, and then I came to the exciting part with like, what do you do? What do you do with the original? Because it does have an original printed sleeve, which is pretty cool with like Rob Zombie artwork and lyrics and stuff. So you have to, do you also cram it inside there with the new one, or do you leave it on the back and then just put it inside the outer sleeve like that? Or do you put it back inside and take out the new black one and put that outside? So I don't know. I left it I'm leaving it outside and I'm putting it in the outer sleeve. So
I think I think the general prescribed method for like the super high end ones is put the original inner inside the jacket and put your fancy enter with the record on the backside and then have that outside of the jacket.
That's what I would do. But then, of course, they're just open top, and then this is
Yeah.
open top. So it's just going to sit there getting dusty. So unless I put it in like upside down or sideways or something. So yeah, these are the dumb conversations I have with myself. So
They're important questions.
that's what I meant to say.
At least your sleeves have shipped. I'm waiting since December still.
And I also got Brian Ferry, Let's Stick Together. I had this on CD.
Oh,
It's weird. It's in his weird creepy mustache phase. I'm not used to the creepy mustache, but I mean, that's pretty, they're having a good time there.
oh yeah.
She's
White
got this
suit.
like gold lame kind of dress gown thing going on there. Yeah.
The
Sweet.
white suit is incredible.
Yeah, man. That's, it's a party.
Yeah.
And of course, with Brian Ferry comes Roxy Music Siren.
Ooh,
Excellent.
I was just jamming this the other day. Fantastic.
awesome.
Great stuff. So many great tracks on here. Loves the Drug. Oh man. Yeah. Awesome. And
I'm chipping away at the UKs, trying to that's my goal. I found one of them and I'm like, I got to get the rest of these, and it just does not.
This is
happen.
domestic, but it was affordable and
Yeah, the Pink Rim Island UK are not affordable.
yeah,
no.
exactly. So, I got this for fun because I do collect 12 inches Fishbone 12 inches. And I didn't have a Party at Ground Zero, which has an earlier mix of Skankin' to the Beat, which is on the Say Anything soundtrack and is like
Awesome.
my jam. Like I was always driving around in my car playing Skankin' to the Beat. So this has got an earlier version of it, and I never had it in any fashion, I don't think. Maybe on the double CD best of set, but yeah, great. And it's got a couple different mixes of Party at Ground Zero, so had to get that. And this is an actual club one. It's RCA Music Service. Sorry, but really, really nice copy of
rad.
Queensryche Rage
Yeah.
Forwarder. And it was pretty affordable, and it was in really gorgeous condition.
That's
so
awesome.
I couldn't say no to it. So I grabbed that. Love the song, Lisa Del Bello song that they covered on here. Gonna Get Close to You. Good stuff. Lots of mood, and man, look at those outfits, man.
Oh, I mean, Queensryche is untouchable right there.
Yeah. They're
Hopefully you
jamming.
get lucky, because sometimes club copies they actually use the original master. So
It sounded really good. Yeah.
Usually no matter what, they sound pretty good, but it's always that feeling when you see the back jacket, you see manufactured for RCA, or you see the CRC, and you're like, oh wow, this is only $10, and then you're like,
yeah. No.
Or
And of
like
course-
it just like skates across the back because it was not cut well.
And of course, like
Yes,
hilariously,
yeah.
into the shop because I'm like, it was driving me crazy that I had all the Run the Jewels like LPs except for Run the Jewels RTJ2, and I was like, it's getting reissued. I just saw that it's getting reissued, but you have to get on an email waiting list and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh man, what if I go to the record store down the street and it just happens to be there? And I'm like, whatever. So I went shopping, and I was like, yeah, there's no Run the Jewels, until I checked out and I looked on the wall, and there was freaking Run the Jewels 2 from 2015
Oh,
with all the original stickers and the poster and all that stuff. And I'm like,
it was calling to me.
yeah, we always talk in our chats about how, the wall is like where,
Yes.
You have to
They
get
have
sticker
to, they have to
shock.
get something, and you have to stand at the counter and wait for a
Yeah.
minute. You start to look up, and you should never do that, because you're going to
Yep.
see something and you're just like, don't
Yep.
do it. Don't do it.
So I
Hey,
didn't even
what's
look at the
that?
price. I just I grabbed it. And I'm like, let's
It was
do
meant
this.
to
Let's
be,
get this over with.
for
Yeah, it was
sure.
meant to be, because I
Yes.
specifically went to the store for that. And like, what are the chances it's going to be there? So
I
it was
know.
totally
It's
there.
amazing.
Listen to it, and it sounded fantastic.
It's amazing.
And I got a book.
Ooh,
Excellent.
I've been meaning to pick this up for a little bit. It came out last year. It's the sequel to the original The Art and Soul of Blade Runner 2049, interlinked The Art. This one is even more expensive because it's got a gorgeous dust cover
wow.
and really cool
Ooh,
book inside as well.
wow.
But this was kind of a reaction to fans clamoring for more, because the last book, which is bigger, it's even more, it's a coffee table disguised as a book. This one's a little bit more reasonable sized, and it's got all the the production art, and the last one had a lot of shots from the set and stuff like that. This thing is just chock loaded with every aspect of the film, but like the actual pre-production art. Los
Wow.
Angeles.
Wow.
Awesome.
So, yeah. It's gorgeous. Yeah. So there's a third book coming out soon, all the storyboards. So
Oh, cool.
I figured I had to get this finally before I got the third one. And for my recommendation, also a new pickup.
Ooh.
I finally pulled the trigger on this gorgeous complete series of Michael Mann's crime story, which featured Dennis Farina when he was still a Chicago cop at the time this dropped. And it's got the same guy. Is it Chuck Adamson? Yeah, Chuck Adamson, who was Dennis Farina's boss on the force. Was telling all these stories to Michael Mann, and he was working on Thief with him. So this kind of came out of that. There's a lot of stuff that they reused from Thief in here.
Cool.
David Caruso's in the first episode as the good kid Jimmy from down the way that Dennis Farina is always like hoping he's going to make something out of himself. And sure enough, he turns into a jewel thief. John Polito's in it. And it's just cool. But it takes place in the 50s. So it's like Miami Vice, but in the 50s and in Chicago.
Ooh.
It's got a really cool mood. Lots of great songs on the soundtrack. And it's badass. It only lasted 2 seasons, but it's been pretty influential in a lot of shows that came after. So it's on one big clamshell. I think they used to have it packaged separately, but I highly recommend this sucker. So
Awesome.
just
Sweet.
watch the pilot's like a movie. So watch that and you'll be hooked. So what do you got, Ryan?
So our friends at Vinegar Syndrome,
Ooh.
I've heard of them.
they had their monthly come out, and as a subscriber, I get mine usually like right at the front now. Like it used to be like when I pick up things, if I got it during the monthly things, it would be a little bit after everybody who are subscribers. But now being a subscriber, I'm getting it while people are going, has mine shipped yet? Like,
Look
but
at you.
they had some cool stuff. They had The Fear,
Oh, I remember that movie.
really cool looking. Apparently this looks much better and plays out a little bit better than some of the pan and scan VHS that people are used to. So we'll see.
Yeah, I saw that on cable probably for the first time.
Hitcher in the Dark,
Huh.
really cool.
Oh, cool. Whoa, what's that?
Nice inner.
Nice set of legs there.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And then I'll put that together later. We got the Forgotten Gialli Volume 3.
Cool.
So 3 movies in there. It's got Autopsy, Murder Mansion, and Crazy Desires of a Murderer. So it's a top loader with the movies inside.
Oh.
The presentation on their boxes are just like you really like can tell there's some value in it. It's not just thrown together.
That's really impressive. Like it's way beyond most of the boutique labels.
Oh yeah, like
And it's like
and
those top loaders almost like, let me see. It's probably the same material as these awesome indicator boxes. But they always do side loaders, but it's like that harder.
oh yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
It's like you can literally knock on it and they're so sturdy.
Yeah, and their Beastmaster box is like magnetic like that. So like even that, like they really like have gone over the top, like putting together just some real value on the box sets. Then I get a few other non-Vinegar Syndrome pickups. This is
Wow.
this is recommended by Jeff Roby, who found it, and then also now Chris Altman. So I couldn't not get Sky Sharks.
My wife made
It's,
me look for that the other night. I couldn't find it on streaming, so I'm gonna have
It's
to buy
sharks
that.
and Nazis.
Incredible.
So yeah, like they really checked all the boxes. A nice
Wonder
collection
Archive.
came out this past week. So I'm probably gonna watch this like before I
Dude.
watch anything on Laserdisc because I want to take a look at the new transfer.
It's Warner Archive. You're going to be impressed. They
Yeah.
do the best work in the business.
And then speaking of impressive, I got Steel Justice on Blu-ray with Martin Cove. So
All right.
I'm sure just as impressive as Pump Up the Volume. And then I have my brother-in-law to thank for this. This is Disaster the movie.
Oh my
Hmm.
god.
It's like claymation, but here's the best
Incredible.
part. It is actually featuring Motley Crue somehow. I have no idea, but I believe it says movies you buy. I don't even know where he got it. They're in the
Probably
Chicago stuff.
Dollar General, probably.
It looks like a Dollar General, yeah. So I have no idea, but just looks fantastic.
Amazing.
And then Dollar Tree did have some stuff. I'm only going to show off one. I found a copy of Death Raced
Which one is that?
Beyond Anarchy.
Beyond Anarchy. It's got Danny Glover and Danny Trejo in it. So,
Yeah, Trejo's like the only guy that stuck around for all of them, right?
I mean, kind of, yeah, I guess.
I've seen the second one. That's as far as I've gone.
So, yeah, I haven't seen it, but it was a download.
Wow.
And then I had another thing that I pre-ordered in January show up. I ordered something from SRS, which they do the finest quality, low budget films. So I got a copy of Virus Shark.
Whoa.
This is like one of 200. They only do like a limited run on Blu-rays.
How do you catch a shark?
With a virus.
Are they contagious?
I don't know. It was
Or
called
is the
Virus
shark the virus?
and
Yeah.
it includes
No, it
the
did not
poster.
have it.
Oh,
Stop it.
Wow.
This is incredible.
But that wasn't the reason why I found out about their site and their order. It was the pre-order that I put in for Stephen Kang's. That's Kangs.
oh God.
Shark
Sharks
of the Corn. Sharks of the Corn. Yeah.
Oh,
So like
Wow.
This is
and
incredible.
There's a cease
Came
and
with-
desist coming for that
it came
one.
with
What?
this, which is both of the movies on like a
Whoa.
4x6.
It's a shark double feature.
Yeah, and then I got the poster for this as well.
Oh my
So-
gosh.
Man.
And that
It's
was
like
all
the
included
same
pre-order.
shark design as the Jaws 2 poster,
Yeah.
like literally, and then shoved into the Children of the Corn poster.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but I mean, obviously,
man.
Stephen Kang is probably
Yeah.
better than Stephen King.
I want more of his stuff,
Yeah.
Shark
Yeah.
Zone,
Yeah.
Shark Cemetery.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. It's
man.
it's if my wife is asleep by the time we're done with this, I'm watching that. Otherwise, we're probably watching Pump Up the Volume. And then I picked up some vinyl. So I got the new Weezer.
Ah.
I hear good things about it. This is the indie version, which is I don't know any different, but apparently it's
Gives
none
you
of them.
hipster cred.
Yeah, there's my hipster level up.
+1 hipster
Probably
points.
colored vinyl. That's usually what they do. Like the indie
Oh,
store
yeah.
will be like
Yeah.
swirly, puke colored vinyl.
Limited to 100.
Yeah.
And then because like I always check their like newer vinyl that comes in, I found some no effects, which you don't always find.
Cool.
So some classic no effects
Awesome.
and one other no effects, like, and these were like $13 a piece. And
Nice.
I know that like when they're in print on their site, it's pretty close to that, but I'm not paying shipping. And like these were like mint.
You're
Like,
there.
somebody probably listened to them once and then sold them.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is not what I thought it was going to be.
I'm seeing that with a lot of my newer used stuff. I don't even think people play them half the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then shout out to my local shop, Culture Shock Records in Rockford. The others came from Toad Hall in Rockford. We have two phenomenal like new record stores, and they have new and old stuff. I had pre-ordered this back in it was like pre-order just coming in for me, and it was November. It was supposed to come out in November. It never did. And I'm like, oh, I'll get it. And then I forgot about it. And then I got a message on Facebook. The
Ooh,
Guar reissue.
nice.
So this is Scumdogs of the Universe.
Classic.
Incredible.
And it's on like a splatter vinyl. I
course,
haven't
yeah.
opened it yet.
Of course.
But yeah, so check this out if you can, because this is the finest in just amazingness. But I have this thing where when I get my records, I like set them in a pile and then
I
I
never
play
listen to them.
No. I listen to them, but I just pull randomly out of the pile and take them to work usually and listen to them because I have a 2-year-old at home, and 2-year-olds around records is really
Yeah.
bad. So sometimes I like lose stuff and then I find it like 3 or 4 months later. I'm like, oh yeah, I bought that. Good thing I didn't buy it again. But these are going to go straight to work.
Gore's good for the workplace. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, Guar is going to be one of those like Friday afternoon ones when no one's
Sure.
around. It's, there's no way that I'm playing that at like 2:00 on a Tuesday because somebody's going to walk in and be like, what the hell? So yeah.
Oh, it's a new motivational work song.
Yeah.
Oh, and I do have one other Dollar Tree pickup. The movies I pick up from Dollar Tree, I usually also do the same thing, but I catalog them right away because then I don't get them twice. But I decided to watch 8mm 2.
My God.
Don't.
Who's in it?
God.
Jonathan Shake, SCHAEK or AECH,
Yeah.
and Lori Hearing. I
Oh, of course.
There was no 8mm film in it. There was kind of a plot. There was a plot, but mostly it was just like scenes with naked hookers.
All right.
Wow.
That could have been the
So,
title. Scenes with naked hookers.
So if you wanted to like get like pretty explicit movies for $1 and you're underage, go to Dollar Tree. This is not a recommendation. But like, wow,
Ryan special tips.
Yeah, no,
They
like,
don't card you at the checkout.
they do not, because it's all
Score.
one barcode. But I'm just like, oh my God, it's not good at all. My God.
So that's your special recommendation? Is that the one?
Avoid it. Yeah.
Oh, avoid that one.
Well,
Okay, yeah.
Because I
Wow,
don't watch,
it's gonna be really bad.
I don't watch near as many DVDs as like Blu-rays and everything else. So like I'm trying to pull them out and like watch them, and it's sometimes I shouldn't.
They should have just said literally called it. Well, they couldn't do Super 8 because that got taken, so they should have gone to 16. But I guess that was too expensive for them. Because you would think 8mm, the sequel would be 16. You know?
Yeah,
just keep
or,
going up.
You know,
Yeah.
Digicam or something.
High 8, the ultimate in horror.
Yeah. So,
VHS-C.
if
Mini
it's a sequel,
TV.
just avoid it. So,
All right.
so Maxeene. Wait. I did forget.
You
one.
skipped
I'm
me
sorry.
again.
Yeah, don't skip Spencer.
Everything's moved around.
I'm just a
Yeah, that's my
guest
fault.
on scene.
I did get a book.
Oh,
Whoa.
Stories from the Trenches by Sam Furstenberg. He's the guy who like did like American Ninja 2 and all those like this is like just a ridiculous. It's only on
It's
Amazon
nice,
as far as I
hefty.
can tell. But
It's
it's got like
probably-
all kinds of like excerpts and photos from his like years of working with Canon Films, which is, you know, obviously fly by the seat of your pants. Things may change like as you're shooting kind of thing. And so it's an entire book of photos and stories. So
That's awesome.
I'm really looking forward to that.
that's radical.
That
All
looks
right.
awesome.
So Spencer's up, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get this wrong one more time. No.
Well, I was going to show Cross Mission, but I haven't found that yet.
Better luck
Yeah.
next time.
So I just cherry picked a few things because it's every time I go to do something, I'm like, oh, I didn't really have very much, and I look, and it's just a ton. So
Files. Yeah.
I cherry picked a few things. So the coolest of the random books I've found recently. This is part of the really awesome Cinema One book series from back in the I believe these were late 70s into the early 80s. I don't know when this one. Yeah, this one was originally done in 71, but this is a later printing. They all have these matching spines. This is the one on Sam Fuller. So they're all on mostly on directors, but these were some of the first critical works on a lot of these people. And a lot of these are still referenced in later works and stuff. And they've all got these matching clapperboard covers. So I've been trying to find more of these because they are
Cool.
quite collectible, but they're just loaded with stills. And they're well printed, and even though it is, you know, from the 70s, they hold up really well, and the writing is really fantastic in these. So I have a couple of these. So anytime I see one, and this was at McKay's for $1, and I was like, yes,
Do it. Yeah.
Nice.
go to McKay's. The book's there. They will find you, and it's like sub eBay pricing, and you don't have to pay shipping, and you can see the condition.
Yeah,
And they
that's-
have books there for less than $1, and I have problems.
The place is fantastic. I've been there.
Oh,
I can
gosh.
say that like
It's
I wish I had one. Like it makes half price books look like child's play.
yeah, we finally got a half price books. I'm like, oh, I can finally see what this is like. I walked in,
It's
I'm like,
eh.
okay, yeah. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, I get it.
No, this is no. So I did participate in the Criterion Flash sale, which I usually don't do, but I hadn't gotten anything in the Barnes and Noble, and I realized that Criterion only charges tax in certain states, so my state is not included. So I was like, oh, well, okay, and
It's handy.
you know, if you ordered enough, you got free shipping and you get their reward points. But then they pulled that thing with not telling us the Paramount discs were going out of print.
Yeah.
I had Rosemary's Baby in my freaking cart, man. Like
Which
I
I
was
got.
like, I hadn't gotten this yet. I should go ahead and get it. Well, I can wait. I'm gonna pick a few, not go too
Yeah.
crazy. And then like 2 days later, I'm like, so I chipped away at some new releases and some ones I'd been just meaning to get, and they don't pop up on the used market as much. So as soon as this got announced, I was like, it must be in my hand. So I grabbed Parallax View, of course.
Yes.
This is one of those, I'm always amazed when people know this, because when I say Parallax View, it's usually just, you know, no recognition. This
Oh,
is
no.
one of those,
Yeah.
especially when you see it late at night. The first time you
Yes.
see it, it's like
The paranoia
clo-
sets in.
yeah, the closest film experience I've ever had to seconds is Parallax View. It's different movie entirely, but it's got that similar. If you see it the first time very late at night, it sticks with you and haunts your dreams for a while.
That's when I saw it.
Particularly the interview sequence, which is the most famous part of the film. For me, this is the best thing Warren Beatty's ever done in his career.
Oh, wow.
His best performance. Probably the best Alan Pakula film. I love Clute and I love All the President's Men, but this one is a particular blend of bizarre. It also takes multiple viewings to really get all of it because it has this whole surreal vibe to it. So the DVD was out of print for ages. I had to track that down.
I have
And
that.
then,
But I need this.
yeah. It's got a nice special feature section. I wish it had more because I always want more extras, but I'm just amazed. This popped up on some of the HD channels a couple of years ago and it looked pretty decent. I'm like, oh,
right.
wow, maybe this will finally come to Blu-ray. Couple years go by and the art is really cool. It's custom Criterion art as usual, but it's really well done. And you get a really nice booklet, which of course references the famous scene with the various. If you've seen the film, you know exactly what this is about. And I love the disc art too. So it's really great to finally have this on Blu-ray. So as soon as that I was like, I've got to get this. So I'll add some more to get that free shipping. This was the last Hitchcock I needed. So I grabbed Rebecca, which was the one I was missing.
Oh, you did say there was going to be more Rebecca.
Yes, I did. So now I have like way too many copies of Rebecca. And this is a film. It looks great on every format. It looks great on tape. It looks great on VHS. It's so beautifully made. So I'm excited to finally have the Criterion Blu-ray, which means I now have every frickin' release of Rebecca around, except I don't have the Anchor Bay DVD. That's the only one I don't have.
Oh, yeah, I don't have that either. Yeah. Ooh,
really nice double disc set using the title font from the opening titles. Lovely booklet. So I've just been meaning to get this, and it doesn't pop up on the used market. So I have all the others. This is another one. Every Halloween, I'm like, why don't I have this on Blu-ray already? And so but the Criterion LD is my favorite one. So I'll probably still be watching that, even though I have the Blu-ray finally. Had to finally get Cat People.
Oh, nice.
This was one of those where I kick myself every year because I watch this film every year. I watch all the Lutons every year. And this is one of those films I get to the end every time and I'm like, not gonna cry, not gonna get emotional, not gonna do it. I'm gonna make it this time. Last line comes up, gone. Then the quote comes up and I'm like, so
Ryan kicks sand in your face and you're like, "Grr."
yes. I
don't know how he gets in your house, but it's weird. Yeah. Or why there's sand there, but whatever.
He hits me over the head with a copy of Cross Mission. Yes. So yeah, lovely inner and disc art.
Excellent.
And then the last one, this was another one been meaning to get. I have every other release, just hadn't gotten the Criterion yet. And this fixes the aspect ratio issue and has the mono. So finally got Barry Lyndon. Been meaning to get this for ages. And I'm just I'm so behind in Criterion Blu-rays because I'm focusing on Criterion LDs because we work backwards in that way. So yeah, I have the Warner Blue, I have the DVD, I have the LD, but this is the newer restoration, but it's actually in the 1:6:6 ratio, which is what it should be in really. And
sorry,
it has
Leon
the
Vitale.
mono. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I really don't. I still don't get it. 2-disc set, lovely extras and booklet and things. So this is one of the best Criterion Blu-rays around and the way to get the film in HD because the Warner Blu-ray is in the wrong ratio. Plus this has the better extras package and original art.
I need that. I've just got the LD, but yeah.
Yeah. This one, it's one of the best Criterion Blues, but I just chipped away at this because I realized if I got 4, I would get the free shipping and get Criterion points, and they didn't charge tax. So it's basically cheaper than the Barnes and Noble sale.
That's good.
And
yeah.
Every time I was going to get some of these in the sale and I went, they were gone. So it was nice to be able to cherry pick some. And I did find a couple LPs, but I just pulled the spiffiest one. So that way I wouldn't go into like 20-minute exposés on each. But yeah, I passed through a store and there were some really cool stuff. They had a lot of stuff you don't see all the time, but everything they had in there was bagged well and then super clean. And usually the stuff that is more popular is pricier because that's what everybody goes in and buy. You see Dark Side of the Moon, it's instantly $30 regardless of condition. And, stores got to stay in business. I get that. But, you can't do that. It's not even very good plus. It's not $30. But then I see this and it's bagged and I'm like, that looks like shrink and a hype sticker. And it's not marked up. It's under $10. That couldn't possibly be. But let me just take a look at it. And this thing is immaculate. I don't know if it's ever been played. Brothers in Arms in the shrink with the hype sticker. And this is the double RL cut.
Ridiculously
this
good
thing
sounding.
is, oh my God. And this being an early digital recording, they designed it for the CD. So they cut some of the tracks down in the length to fit on the LP on this. But Bob Loop would cut this thing so ridiculously hot that it's an audiophile treat. And I have one and it's pretty beat. So I've always been trying to find an upgrade, and you don't see these all the time. And when you do, they're more like 10 to 15.
Yeah.
And if you go looking on eBay, people know what they have. And especially now that eBay sellers found out about RL and some of the letters, like I literally just sometimes on a lark, I type in RL on eBay and go, and it's just like,
Cats out of the
RL
bag.
cut.
Yeah.
$400, man.
I know what I have.
Yeah. I'm like, no, but it's and then I'm like, is it on both sides? And they're like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it has to be two-sided.
Yeah.
What? Well, it's on there, man. I'm like, well, that means it's single-sided. But yeah, this thing is immaculate, and it was
hype
$8,
sticker, man. Yeah.
I'm still in the shrink and everything. The only thing there is apparently, because this is Warner Brothers, there is a Qui-X version of this, like one of their promos, and I don't think this is one because they would have a sticker.
Hold it up.
Yeah.
Can you
it's
see
not.
through it? Yeah. All right.
No. But yeah, most they would just make the regular ones Qui-X, but Warner Brothers in the 80s, they would put those big black circle stickers on the front, Qui-X 2 promo, and then that makes everybody think they're worth $10 million. I'm like,
of course,
no, it's the same cutting, but I only have one of those. I finally found the one for the Who's It's Hard. So but yeah, for some reason, everybody else, they just made all theirs Qui-X, but Warner Brothers was like, no, we're going to make it a promo. Yeah. So if you find one of these with those stickers on them, it's like 3 times as expensive, but it's the same cut. But yeah, this is one of those. If you have a turntable, just get a copy of this. Even though it's a digital recording, man, this thing, it's mastered super hot, and it just sounds fantastic. And of course, you put on the intro of Money for Nothing, and it's just like, because the lead in, and then as soon as it's just like, head explode, ears melt, your speakers just implode. So that's, I could not believe that was just sitting there, and it was, not marked up. So I was like, yes, I'm glad I came in here.
Must get.
Yes.
Excellent. What do you got, Max? Anything?
I do. I have news. The test pressings for the Minus Light record have come in.
Excellent.
So those just literally showed up, like, I think like yesterday. So we're going to have to hurry and set up a record player this week.
Do a listening party. Yeah.
See what the heck it sounds like. I'm so stoked on that. That's going to be insane. It's just
That
a
is
white,
cool.
It's just white with the white label, white sleeve, just straight, just nothing, but it's here, and I'm really excited for it. So.
Cool. All right. Hopefully that goes well and you'll be in full replication.
And then I got a book.
Ooh.
This is on lighting, which, because I'm in a new place and I'm really a big fan of lighting and how things are lit. That's like one of my weird things that I love. I love home decorating and just decorating in general, like aesthetics of things and just seeing different time periods. But this had a little secret gem in here. So here's this, like, guiding light.
Cool, Pat. Oh, the abyss.
Sitting there.
Sure.
Are those CDs on top of it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a couple CDs stacked on there.
There's some more on the I'll see if I can get it. Right on this zone. There's more.
Is that the Godfather box?
I know. I was trying to figure out if that was a box set over there.
Could
too.
be.
Yeah.
Is this the official LaserDisc Forever meeting space that we have somewhere?
Yeah. Do we get a key to that room? Yeah.
Seriously,
I can't comment on that.
It's the waiting room
Oh,
for
that is too
Hollywood
cool.
LaserDiscs.
Yes.
Customer service dev.
They're just scattered around. Yeah.
Mr. Brochurian will see you in just a moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please have some coffee.
This is from a home
Elevator
in
music
Northern
playing.
California as well.
Okay.
But yeah, you can kind of see the TV vibe is here.
That is awesome.
But just this book is honestly like super cool just in general, because like the aesthetics of things that you can see, because like I'm trying to figure out what kind. Like in my old place I had wall sconces, which I love wall sconces because it's like essentially a piece of art that you can now just have on your wall, that's like, but it's a fixture. So I don't have that anymore, and so all my dope wall sconces are like useless, which is frustrating. So I'm kind of trying to figure out like what am I going to do instead, and I'm looking at like different can lighting and track lighting and things, because lighting can be the difference. Like this, the cover is really just a good telltale, because this is the same room. It's just this is at night and this is during the day, and it just really like lighting totally makes everything look a certain way. Like it can change your paint color. It can change everything. So lighting is cool.
I wish
That's awesome.
webcams like lighting better.
I know.
I have the hardest time. Like no matter what, something gets blown out, and I just go with it because I'm like, it's not gonna.
Yeah. It is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotta,
I got that.
gotta get the YouTube or not the YouTube, the OnlyFans lights.
Yeah. The ring lights. Yeah.
Ring light. Yeah, I've got the ring light.
So you're going to do.
I'm working in here trying. I have my light above here is just like one of those just fluorescent LED ones, which is not very good lighting, but for just looking at stuff, it's great. And then I have my Pioneer one. It's just out of.
The big blue one. Yeah.
Yeah, my blue one's there.
It's quality.
And then I have on my LaserDisc that I made to be for the genre cards.
So you're doing tons of painting at the house now, or
oh my
new
gosh,
pad?
lots and lots of painting. I'm gonna make a whole like the living room area. It's this kind of 70s like avocado-y green color that I'm painting it. And I'm gonna hand build an entire record like wall unit.
Like a wall. Oh
yeah, a straight ahead wall unit. I'm gonna make it look like the 70s walnut.
Dude.
And so I have big plans, because I want to. I've kind of outgrown the IKEA look for the records in general in there. So I'm gonna build something more more mid-century looking, and then have the speakers and just have like a whole listening section just on one wall. And then this sofa's kind of in the middle, and then so the sofa will be like across from where all the home theater stuff. So it'll be kind of two separate rigs.
Dividing. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had them intertwined, and they kind of just like. They require different speakers, like they need to be separate. So
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to all of my ideas. I'll share once they're more further along.
Excellent. Have you been watching anything in particular you wanted to recommend? More wrestling or?
Oh my gosh, I've been on total wrestling. I've been having to use my phone's hotspot to give my place internet, because we didn't have internet yet. We just got internet yesterday. So today, like literally all day, been watching, like I've been on the total Hardy Boys, Jeff Hardy kick, just all the Swantons, just like endless, like all of the insane ladder drops and everything. That's been my jam. And then I've watched a bunch of Ultimate Warrior. I've watched a lot of Hogan, but mainly right now I was on a big Jeff Hardy kick. Because he's just freaking wild. He's just jumping from these insane heights, breaking tables.
You're gonna hurt yourself, boy.
Did you see Shaquille O'Neal's
right?
ring debut?
I just saw a freeze frame of him like getting thrown onto a table or something.
Yep.
What? Oh my god.
He sold it well, and then he was missing at the end from the ambulance.
Oh my god.
Whoa. So you know
that
something's up.
Yeah. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, there's lots more to watch. I'm just really enjoying it, because it's kind of a different, it's hard to explain. Like I feel like I've watched like politics, and I've watched, like things just, that are kind of like background but kind of keep you interested. And I feel like this is something where it's like it gives you that like excitement level, but like you can have it on in the background, and you can be totally just 100% into it because of just how good they sell it, and just how much of like soap opera that it can be.
It's real me, damn it.
I'm loving it. It is real. No, everyone's getting hurt. It's real. Like,
Yeah, it's
No,
serious. And plus,
it's serious.
don't get your ears boxed like what John Stossel did when he said it wasn't real. So
Freaking John Cena got his goddamn nose broken by a supposed, like, it was supposed to be a freaking fake knee kick, and then his like, entire nose is shattered. I was like, whoa, like, poor
Ouch.
guy. Oh my
It may be
god.
scripted, but the falls they take are very real,
Very
especially if they're
real.
not done well.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, the Undertaker getting freaking his neck almost literally got snapped by this. Like, it was one of the slowest. They were both past their prime. I forget who he was battling, but he was just poor guy. I mean, he went for this move, and like, I mean, when Undertaker got up, he was like, damn, like I could have like got my neck broken. That guy just like did it so wrong.
I know I'm undead and all, but
Yeah.
love it. All right, so let's I guess we'll do wrap ups and final spins and what's up next. I'm gonna do just gonna get back into my Beatles box. I got a few more discs I gotta kill on this thing, so
Hell yeah.
I'll finish that up and I'll give a proper wrap up the next time, and who knows where I'll go from there. I know I got some interesting things that Ryan has tasked me with watching, so
Oh.
Yeah, we're into homework mode for next time. So
we're cooking something up. Yeah, so
it's
No
it's
spoilers, though.
wacky. We're hiding the big reveal though.
yeah, there was something that
Yeah.
Ryan sent me in the mail that I did not show everybody yet, so
That no one should own.
that nobody should own. Exactly.
What you mean, Dynasty Volume 12?
Yeah. What?
Yes.
So what are you spending next, Ryan?
Like I said, I'm probably gonna watch
Evita.
the Pump
Yeah.
Up Volume, unless the wife is already asleep. Then we're going straight into the corn.
Yes.
Ah,
It's so, I mean, it's just so ridiculous and preposterous that they would come up with this. Like, it can't be bad. Like, the bar is so low that, like, I mean, and the trailer's already good. Like, there are CG sharks swimming through corn. So
I'm waiting for Lawnmower Shark.
Yes.
coming soon.
Silver bullet shark.
How about you, Spencer?
Oh. I have no idea really. I think I'm just gonna do the random grab from the unwatched stack.
Smart.
Been trying to go through it. Also, some of the discs I went over in my last video, trying to spin up through some things, and got a bunch of discs from Vinny that'll be in my next video. So I've been spotlighting a few of those, but I'm still trying to go through my massive amount of unwatched discs. So I'm still doing the chronological thing, but I usually just grab something random and I'm like, I haven't watched this yet, or I've watched this one. No, let me go for another one. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go for a random pull.
Cool.
Nice.
That's good. More people need to watch the things that they haven't watched yet. So
Yes.
instead of watching,
That
yeah,
was
the Shadow again. Yeah, no offense to the Shadow.
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me.
Every once in a while, you gotta
Like
go with
if
an all favorite.
it's oh gosh, I might just do that.
Yeah. Psychically,
I
I'm very
finally
well endowed.
Ugh, I finally started reading the pulps and they're amazing, and now they're going out of print, so I'm just buying those like crazy.
Oof. Yeah, get them all you
Yeah,
can.
they reprinted almost the whole series, and those things are just like, holy bejesus, this is where this came from. Recurring villains, rogues gallery, everything, and they're straight up mysteries. Each one's about 120 pages. They're practically almost novel length, each one, and each one is a double book reprint, and they're just beautiful.
Oh, excellent. How about you, Max? You got a player hooked up yet?
I have the player here, and
All
I
right.
absolutely am bringing this back because I didn't get to watch it.
Oh, you didn't get to watch Ann Bird's
I didn't get
cookery.
to watch the cookery. I did not get to learn how to make quiche, and I was very upset about it. So, because it talks about blind baking, which when you're dealing with crusts, I
Man,
haven't
so
really done blind baking.
you're going like next level baking theory.
Yes,
Um,
I'm jazzed about it. That's one that's Ryan queued that one up for me, and so that one's it's been on the list.
Excellent. Well, I expect to hear a nice report back on that soon. Well, sadly, we didn't have our fifth Wolfpacker joining us, but it was pretty delightful with just you fine characters. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming back, Spencer. You're officially part of the crew now. Unfortunately,
I feel honored.
The tattoo
gonna
we're
get-
choosing for you is coming.
Yeah, you're gonna get a tattoo. You're gonna get the welcome kit, the whole
Oh.
pack, and all the
The
swag,
hazing
the
will come-
robe. Yeah.
Yes.
Do I get any coupons anywhere? Like, like,
Yeah,
do we
there's some
get
good-
our sponsor coupons?
Yeah, you've got a $5 off HLD's website.
Yep, you got a lot of good
Oh.
like local
Bed
local
Bath and
fast
Beyond
food.
coupons.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I can get you some Jack's frozen pizza coupons. I don't know if they distribute them where you're at, but I know it's a Midwest thing. So
Yeah, well, look for that welcoming package coming your way soon.
Covered in Fago, I guess.
Yes.
obviously,
Like week old Fago, like you just poured on there.
Old dried up Fago.
it's very flat, but it happens.
Oh man, yeah, we
It
even
still works.
we powered through some internet issues, and I disappeared. Max disappeared, but we came back strong.
Photo finish.
We did it.
Good job.
Cool. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah,